What is Kamikoto? Kamikoto makes great kitchen knives using traditional techniques. Each knife comes in a beautiful heavy-duty ash wood box. Kamikoto makes 3 knife sets, heavy-duty cleavers, ultra-sharp steak knives, everything for people who are serious about cooking. They only use steel sourced from Japan, and each blade is crafted using techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knifesmiths. Because of their single bevel edge, Kamikoto knives can achieve a wickedly sharp edge you just can't get with other knives. They're ridiculously sharp, like cut through your ribeye like butter sharp. Legit, these knives are badass. And if you're looking for a gift, these are the knives. Each knife comes with a lifetime guarantee. And I'm telling you, I have all these knives, and my wife just sent knives to all the people that did Something's Burning, and a bunch of people we work with, and everyone's hitting us up going, this is the best gift we've gotten. If you go ahead and buy now, Kamikoto is offering our listeners an extra $50 off site-wide on top of their biggest sale of the year. Go to kamikoto.com and use the offer code BERT for an extra $50 off. kamikoto.com/BERT. That's kamikoto.com/BERT. Hey guys, brand new podcast, and the Tops Off World Tour is kicking off January 8th in Oslo. We're going from Oslo to Stockholm to Berlin, then Denmark, Dublin, Greece. We're going to Athens in Greece. Not going to lie to you, Berlin and Athens, I don't have a ton of fans. So if you are one of my fans, boy, are you going to get a very intimate show. Manchester, United Kingdom, London, 2 shows in London, 2 shows in Manchester, Glasgow, Newcastle, Amsterdam, Antwerp. All those shows are cleaning up pretty quickly. Dublin. And then I'm back to the U.S. We've added a show in Williamsport, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Boston at TD Gardens. We are adding seats to that one, I think. I know some people have complained that it says sold out. We're adding seats. Bangor, Maine, Tempe, Arizona for 3 shows at the Mullet Arena with me, Shane Gillis, and Mark Normand right before the Super Bowl. So if you're going to the Super Bowl, we will be at the Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona on the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Savannah, Georgia. And then the real feather in my hat, and I say that because I wore a hat yesterday and I put a feather in it and I stapled it to the side like the mascot for the Bucs when I was a kid. The Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida, February 17th, followed by the Amway Center, February 18th in Orlando, Cedar Rapids, Green Bay, Minneapolis, Grand Forks, Fargo, Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Edmonton, Calgary. Man, I love Canada. Kelowna, Canada? Bismarck, North Dakota. I'm coming back. Sioux Falls. The whole tour goes on. I mean, I'm going to keep reading, but now we're into April, and then we're in Australia. Did I mention I'm in Australia in April? Starting in Auckland, New Zealand, then Melbourne, Torrensville, Australia, Perth, South Brisbane, Sydney. That's the Tops Off World Tour. Find me on the road this year. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, that is a great Christmas gift to someone. Tickets to my show, or you can go to BertCast.com and get some merch. Let's get to the podcast. Today's podcast is with Gareth Reynolds. I've known Gareth Reynolds for a long time. He had a show called Mancations when I was on Travel Channel, and I was so fucking jealous. We talk about that. It was a great show. It was a fun show, and it was a funny show. And then he started doing a podcast that, if you have not heard of, you are missing out. It is one of the best podcasts on the internet. It's called The Dollop. It's with him and Dave Anthony, and I've done it before live with them, and the last time I did it was March 13th, 2020. It was right before the pandemic, and Dave Anthony called it. We talk about that. We open 3 bottles of wine. We get hammered, but mostly we talk about his special. We don't mostly talk about that. Actually, we just talk about it because he's got a special called England Weed and the Rest. It's on YouTube right now. It's awesome. Go check it out. He shot it in Portland. He is an awesome dude. He's fucking hilarious. And when I do my Green Bay run, he's going to be coming with us. So get ready. We're partying our dicks off. My friend, without further ado, stand-up comedian, actor, podcaster from The Dollop, Gareth Reynolds. You know you're one of my favorite human beings alive. You're like a kindred spirit with me.
I feel that way.
We have the same energy. We have the same brains.
Yeah. I was saying to them, when we did something's burning. I almost brought you a bottle of Dickel because you probably don't remember this because you fucking do so many of those. But when I went and got a shot of Dickel whiskey, and you go, as I walked past you, you just kind of like subtly go, "We're finishing that bottle tonight," like a throwaway. And I was like, "What is he talking about?" And then we basically did. And I was like, I mean, it was fucking amazing.
Would you remember? Do you remember the last time I was with you? Do you remember the last time I was with you?
Yeah.
It was
the right before, right before,
pandemic.
yeah.
When you were like, fucking goddamn partner. You know, fuck Dave Anthony.
I agree.
He is such a smart person.
What an asshole.
I remember him telling me, this is going to be pretty serious.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, you were doing the Dollop at the Dynasty typewriter. And you were like, to promote your world tour, and Dave was like, Dave was like, it's not gonna happen.
He's like, you might as well just put a pin in that.
You were just like, really negative guy over here.
There's a few moments in life where that a person is defined for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That moment, I defined him for the rest of my life. He is the smartest man I know.
It's crazy. But then like I drive around with him all the time and I'm like, Jesus, man, would you just like he's like the scientist, like in the movie, who's like, there's a tsunami coming this way, you know? And you're just like, dude, I
remember that so vividly.
Can we just enjoy Chipotle for 5 minutes?
We were backstage. I was having a Heineken and he was like, I was like, hey, I'm just trying to promote the world tour. And he goes, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? He goes, we're locking down, buddy. I mean, it was such a prophetic statement in a world where that had never happened. We're locking down, buddy.
Well, that was when everyone was like, is this different? Or is like, because you hear of like, remember like swine flu, those things?
I got H1N1.
Oh, right.
Well, I got one of them. It was bad.
Congratulations.
Man. It was the worst it's the worst I've ever been in my entire life. That was my only experience. What's that?
He just knew. I mean, he was just like ahead of it. People were saying like, whatever, it'll just be another thing. And then it was.
Do you guys understand what we're saying? This was the end of February.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand? You have no idea. Yeah. I mean, actually, I got to be dead honest with you. I think I was flying out the next day.
Yeah.
And he said, you'll be turning right around.
Yeah.
They're locking this.
You were going everywhere.
Yeah. He's like, they're locking this fucking country down. You're getting locked down.
Did you leave?
Yeah. I went to New Orleans, landed, and I took a general meeting, and the guy had rubber gloves on and had a mask on, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
The rubber gloves.
And I turned down it was with
I do that for every general meeting anyway. I've been doing rubber gloves since the 80s.
When I was a kid in this business, I remember a guy wouldn't shake my hand. And I remember I remember going like, hey man, thanks so much. And he's like, hey, okay. And I was like, what the fuck? And then someone else I was like, if he did that, he'd be shaking hands with like 100 people. And by the end of the day, he's gonna get something. So it's just easier if he doesn't. And Robert Kelly was in that audition. And Robert Kelly goes, you don't shake my fucking hand, I don't want the fucking part.
Oh my God, they're like, that guy. I feel like we passed on an opportunity to get rid of the handshake. I would have been fine.
I would have been cool.
You must be very okay with getting rid of the hand. I mean,
I'm cool.
You're the mayor of the country.
I am a honeypot for disease. I get sick. I've had coronavirus 5 times.
Oh my God.
You can only get it. I mean, like, there's
Are you the bat? Yeah. Bat Kreischer?
I got it New Year's Eve it hadn't even been a year. It hadn't even been a year, and I've had it 5 times.
Fucking A.
I get it every time you can get it. I get it when my antibodies come out, I get a brand new one. I got the diarrhea one. I got the cough one. I remember the first time I got it, fucking Leanne comes up and she's like, hey. And I go, what? She goes, come here. And then walks up, gives me a hug. She goes, I think I have coronavirus. I'm like,
you're like, but that's not the time to hug.
Yeah, back up, Rogan.
Get away.
The fuck?
Get in this jar. What's the worst one?
The worst one was the first one. The first one I got. And then the next 3 I got, but I didn't even know I had. Like I got them, and then they were coming. They were touch and go, and then the last one Jen tested me for, and I didn't. I mean, I had it, but I kicked it in a day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I'm not like Dave's like assuming, and I don't mean to put words in, don't put words in Dave's mouth either, but Dave's a definite like the opposite of Rogan, because like if you call Rogan, he's like it's a fucking flu.
Yeah,
he's like, come on, man, you're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, Dave's the opposite.
Dave's the opposite.
The way we tour now is so different.
Yeah,
like we bought a van.
Really?
And we just drive everywhere. We've flown a little bit.
You guys doing road shows?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we'll go.
Great.
Oh, it's great. They're great. We have like pictures and shit like that to go along with the honestly, one of the pictures we did on the last tour was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, and that like for the Dollop is like saying something, but it is like it was basically it was about body snatching. Which has been like there's like a few themes where we like dip in, and I'm like, it's cool that I like have a shorthand with body snatching now. But it was about body snatching, and it was like these 5 dudes who almost looked like they were like wardrobe by Tim Burton's costume lady, like big hats, kind of like barbershop striped outfits. And then on the table is this probably quarter decomposed body, and the person just looks like E.T. It's like the skin and the muscles are kind of stringy, and the face still with eyes looking to camera as all the guys are like, whoa. And I was just like, I mean, I don't even really remember much about the story because I just kept being like, can we go back to that pic? What the fuck did I just look at? Like it really is. You were just like, how was this a time when people were like, turn its head towards the camera?
Oh, there was, you guys fuck me up because there's things in that you guys, the greatest podcast ever. It's the greatest podcast ever.
Well,
it is the greatest podcast ever. It really is. It's one where you can get into. So I rate podcasts. Can I start them in my bunk and let them just play?
Yeah.
And I go to sleep, wake up and wake up and go, oh yeah, I'm back in to another like.
Yeah.
Oopty goopty.
The wildest.
That was the wildest wild man of Borneo.
Yeah, that's when it's
there's got to be so much
nothing
shit.
ages well.
There's got to be so much shit in your brain that retention wise where you're like, I can't even remember.
Well, because I don't listen to, so like I'm sure like you, like I don't really like listen to the shit, you know what I mean? You do it and you're done. And then people remember the stuff. So people will come up to me.
The number one ever is the fucking baseball player. That's what everyone talks about.
The Rube is one where people,
that's the one everyone
I almost know that one
about.
Now just because I've had to have conversations about it.
Everyone brings that up to me.
Yeah, the Rube is the craziest one. Oofty Goofty's where they wanted this guy in a dime show. We were talking about this on the one we did last night. Like nothing good came out of dime stores or dime shows. Like I don't know what the fuck a dime store was, but it's like if you went in there, you were like, let's sin. Like it was just glory holes and corpses. So they basically just told this guy, they hired this down and out guy to be the wild man of Borneo, and they tarred him and covered him in hair, and then they just put him in a cage and told him to say oofty goofty, oofty goofty. And like, so he was just like oofty goofty, oofty goofty, and then like they couldn't get the tar off him.
Oh,
it's horror. The podcast is horror.
I think of that. One of my other favorite podcasts is Daily History Daily or whatever.
Yeah.
And you think of the when you hear about inequities and you hear like of just how people did not have advocacy. Like your life could be, they'd cut your hand off and be like, "Ah, fucking fucks me up."
No, that's what I'm saying with like this corpse that like this dude literally looked like it was like E.T. Taffy. And like there was not like they just like when you think about the problems, it's also interesting how we get to where we are now with like when you trace back, which is what Dave does so well, is like he applies the history story to today so that you're just like, we still do this shit. Like the one we were doing last night was basically about like how in Boston they were trying to get rid of like scandalous pictures. Like when you buy a pack of cigarettes, there'd be like, a scantily clad woman sometimes. And then these religious freaks come in and they're like, they want to get rid of that. And then you're like, as we go through it, I'm like, he's fucking connecting it to like today with like the drag show shit and like all that. Like, and you're just like, God damn it. Like, I'll be like having fun for a minute. And then I'm like, wait, you son of a bitch.
That's what's great about your podcast is that you can't tell who's more valuable. Like you can't tell who the star of the podcast is.
Without
David, that's not a podcast. Without David, it's not a podcast.
It might not be like he did it alone for a while, and it was just him in a closet shouting. But without him, like, it would just be me like, all right, what else is up? You know what I mean? We have another one now called The Pastimes, which is like a Dollop spinoff where we go through an old newspaper. And it's fucking bonkers too, because you're just like, what, like the stuff they would write about and how specific.
I have a bit. I'm not working on it. I started a bit. You know how like as a comic you'll think of a bit and then go, oh, let's explore that, and then you do it, and then you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Would my wife and I have the same relationship we have today if I could hit her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's workshop that one-on-one for a little while before you're taking it to the stadiums.
I did it last night.
Where?
At fucking Saginaw. And I was like, the whole time you're like, I'm acknowledging it's not right to hit women.
Here's what's so crazy about your career now is that, like, for me, like, if I'm like, I'm going to try new stuff, it'll be like a Thursday night in like a club and there's like 30 people there, and I'll either be like, it's not right. You are like doing fucking enormous venues where people are like, Jesus, is Bert okay? He's talking about he wants to hit Leanne.
I had the funniest fucking improv. Hey, Halston, is the air on in here? Will you turn the air on? I had the funniest improv last night. There was a deaf woman in the audience, and I called Isla, my daughter Isla, who's still in the house, speaks ASL.
Oh, okay.
So I said, Isla, I called Isla or she called me. I forget, but it was a FaceTime. I said, hey, Isla, there's a deaf person in the audience. You want to say something to her? And she went, hi.
Like, I do know sign language.
And then, and I was like, let's say something else. She's like, I don't know. What did you want me to say to her? Do you believe in Santa Claus? Like, what the fuck? She's like, what do you say when you meet someone? Hi. And I was
Did he do the bit about hitting mom?
Yeah. No. I did a bit about, I can't even do it because it's on my special now.
Oh, yeah.
But about Macaulay Culkin get his ass eaten by Michael Jackson. But yeah, I tried that bit out last night, and I was and it got good. I don't know. It was because it's funny because what's interesting is like we have grown so much as a society that like the one thing I love about my wife is her opinion. Yeah. And the one thing those guys never got is their wife's opinion. Yeah. Like it was interesting how much what I was trying to get at is the value of women has changed so drastically, in that I would never ever want to stifle any part of my wife's opinion, because that's what I value in her. Like, I mean, and trust me. There was it was fun, but then problem is any woman getting beaten is not like you make a joke about Ray Rice, and then you see him hit his wife, and you're like, whoa, it's just so brutal.
No, we were just talking about the Ray Rice thing as well. I mean, really, for like a thing, just a different thing we do like on Patreon. But that was like, like how that was so like you can't. I mean, I think especially though if it's like how do you workshop shit? Do you have a smaller place where you go to workshop stuff? No. So when you just recorded your special, so now you're back out on the road, you're doing like huge fucking places. Yeah. What are you doing? Are you doing stuff from the special mixed with new stuff?
I do. Well, so it's not totally fair in that
you have.
Well, no, I have. So when I do a special, I have probably 2 hours of material that I pick from. Right. And so I whittle it down. And then I could do a brand new hour that isn't.
That's kind of what I have. Yeah. Like a Frankenstein set of like, I haven't recorded this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like, and what, the way I know a special's, by the way, fantastic special, by the way.
Oh, fantastic special. Much. Thanks.
Bert. Fantastic special.
Well, thanks, Bert.
The way I know a special will be good is if I have 2 hours and I can literally pick and choose and take and cherry pick the best parts of that other hour that I don't need. Like, I think I always say, and I don't know which of my specials was my best, but I think for my favorite one was Secret Time because I had so much stuff that I could just take punchlines out of and just I could just cherry pick everything out of it. So, and then I hollowed out a bunch of shit that now is no longer usable.
Yeah.
But for this one, I had so much material that I could still do. But like last night was weird because someone called out an old joke that I haven't told in forever. I didn't tell it because when I did Hey Big Boy, it was like right after that was the Black Lives Matters.
Yeah.
So like anything racial, I just was like, I just stay away from it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I haven't told that in fucking 3 years.
And then how did it go?
Murder.
Yeah. See, that's what's weird
I got
too.
so fucking, but it's not racist. It's just
no.
It's not racist at all.
Yeah.
It's in the side, I said the guy who produced my special was like, I wish you had something like that. I like the race stuff you do, because he goes, you're not being racist, but it's funny for everyone. My buddy's a person of color, so and so and he's a really good but I like like the thing I like the most like in stand up is like what you do, like personal stuff. Like well, I did not know your parents were from England. I did not know that they were British.
Yeah.
It was so, but I really like accents. You're really good at accents.
Yeah. That's like,
I'm really bad at accents and you're really good at accents. You're really good.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that my parents were English is such a leg up.
Yeah.
Like to just like, I mean, like I was around Scottish as a kid. I was around Irish as a kid.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Wisconsin of
Really?
English parents though. So I had an English accent until I was like 5.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like there's like recordings of me as a kid, and like I hadn't been exposed to like what's going on, like how we do, you know. So I was just like, "Do we have another crayon for me to use?" Literally, like my brother used to record. My brother's 12 years older, and he used to record me.
He's 12 years older.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Just two of you?
Yeah.
Same parents?
No, it's different dads, but still like it was dicey. So he was like, he was like greasing the foam in the runway for me forever. But he used to record me.
Foam in the runway. I love that phrase. I love that phrase.
Oh yeah, where I'd be like, my brother got a DUI. I was like, I'm gonna be able to get away with murder. I'm like 13. But like, so he would record me, and he'd be like, "What's a song you like?" And I'd be like, "The Orangutan Circus," literally. And then I got exposed to Wisconsin. And my mother started to watch me kind of go to the dark side of I grew a mullet. I got like Z's in the side of my head. I started hitting the O's like hard. And she was like, "Oh no," like I was a teen wolf. Yeah.
Wait, where did you grow up in Wisconsin?
In a place called Brown Deer, like in Milwaukee, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And then but then when I'd go see my family in England, it would be like my uncle was a lunatic Scotsman, which sounds redundant, but he even for like
did you
Scottish
talk about
people,
him in your special?
No, I didn't. I never have done a bit about him, but like I think I want to, because it's called England, Weed, and the Rest, and so it's basically like I talk about England, weed, and then just the hodgepodge.
Did you shoot in Portland?
Yeah, I shot at
Helium.
Helium.
I love that club.
Fucking amazing. My plan was to shoot.
That's the best comedy audiences, in my opinion.
Portland. I was going to shoot in 3 different places and do England as one part, weed as one part, and the rest in another city. So and then I just like saw the Portland show, and I was like, this is just like it's too good of a show.
You look young as shit in it.
Yeah. Now I look old.
You look good in it. I literally was like, God damn it.
You're not doing okay.
I was like, he didn't drink during the pandemic. He looks good.
No, I just like leading up to it, like took a break.
I took a massive break. I'm on a tear right now.
Are you?
Thinking about opening a bottle of wine as we speak.
Let's do it.
Hey, Pete. Hey, Halston, will you grab me a bottle of wine?
Oh, I love this.
Hey, Pete, will you open a bottle of wine for us? Have you met Pete, by the way?
Yeah, just briefly before.
Pete said to me last night, if I cheated on my wife, he would tell her.
Jesus, Pete. You got to think of longevity, man. What town you think this is?
But here's what's crazy is that ultimately I'd want him to, right? Because I don't want to cheat on my wife either.
Right.
I don't want to cheat. That threat is what I want.
Yeah, but
I was
still.
Just like, for anyone, like how, like what is it? What constitutes cheating? Like,
could he kiss? If you saw him kiss, if you saw him like
making out,
like make out, not even for too long.
Oh, top to bottom.
Jesus Christ, man! Yeah, I think you need a Pete watcher in the entourage. Someone who like distracts Pete while you can go cop a feel.
The Pete grew up in Buffalo. Did you have a civic pride growing up in Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Packer
for sure.
fan?
Totally. I have a Packer tattoo. Totally.
serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shut
yeah,
up.
Yeah, I got 2
see
tattoos. One of my
something cool?
cat, one of my team.
You
Yeah.
want to see something cool?
Oh, you're gonna show me. See, this is where
No.
your
This is my
access is gonna drive me crazy. This is
my-
where you're like kicking a field goal during an active game.
no in my phone, very first number.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
The very first number. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you text?
Yeah.
That is just he showed me Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And you text?
Yeah, but I don't
Not
like,
a lot.
I mean, he's a very sweet guy, but
Sure.
and we would have a ton in common.
Yeah.
But like I text him to bust balls with Tom sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Because Tom met him and Aaron gave me
He
his
loves
number.
comedy.
He's a fucking great dude.
Yeah, yeah.
He is a great dude. Like
Yeah.
like I almost really enjoy when the media kind of jumps on him, because it makes me realize the more you isolate him, the more we will get him when he retires.
Yeah, right.
Like the more that he'll be like,
yeah.
yo, Bert, what's up? Let's go fishing. You know?
Yeah, right.
Because I think you media darling someone, and I think they become disconnected from real life. Like
Yeah.
I've watched that happen to like I mean I don't want any of the bad stuff that's happened to Kevin Hart
Yeah.
to have happened to Kevin Hart, but the more media darling he was, the more disconnected he was,
Yeah.
and I think the more you get a few scars on you, the
Yeah.
more you come back to real life.
Well,
I
yeah, you
believe
become
that.
a human again,
Yeah.
kind of. It's
Yeah.
an impossible standard to hold up. Like, it really is. I mean, I think, like, even when you know in this business where you, like, are friends with famous people, you are, like, you're just a it sounds so fucking cliche,
Yeah,
but you are just you have to be, like, a regular person to some extent. And when you can't really express yourself or, like, be human, that's annoying. That's
that
like,
would make me crazy.
yeah. Well, that's why you like, again, I mean, not to keep blowing your career, like, but it is like you are you. That's like when people are like, because they've seen like me be on your shit or you be on the Dollop, and people will ask about you. And I'm like, that dude is like
Really?
the real deal. Yeah. I'll be like, that is like
Wow.
what you see is what you get.
I'm pretty regular. I actually, hey, what about that wine?
So he's regular in the fact that he
yeah.
demands his assistant hands him wine. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Oh, beautiful.
And
And if Bert and I kiss after this, zip it. Yeah, that's right.
this looks good.
What happens in the back house stays in the back house.
The what is interesting is I
Thanks,
sometimes wonder if I lean in to alcohol to stay regular.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, you know, like the way like because I look at like I can't say real names, but I know I have friends that have quit drinking.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's wine. It's the afternoon. It's perfect.
Well, it is nice.
I
I have friends that have quit drinking, and almost all of them, when they quit drinking, they turn, I guess maybe they get better, but they turn into someone that is a little bit unrelatable. They take like, they get like their pilot's license, like
Yeah,
Segura.
right.
Segura never drinks, right?
Right.
Never drinks, but sometimes I look at him and I'm like he's like learning to fly a helicopter, and I was
Yeah.
like, what the? Did you
Buddy,
always
just have a beer.
Yeah, did you always want to do that? Like, is that something rich people do?
When did he quit drinking?
He doesn't drink. He never.
He just never really did. Yeah.
He partied back in the day.
Yeah.
He'd drink and smoke weed and smoke cigarettes, and then the more he got successful, the more he started taking care of his body and getting
Yeah.
in shape,
Yeah.
and you know, and started like buying Porsches, and I remember thinking like, I remember asking him. He bought like a really nice Porsche, and I said, "Did you always want Porsches?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really?" So like when you were broke, you Googled them. He was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, that
see,
makes sense."
Yeah, that does.
That makes sense.
That's
And then,
not.
yeah.
I would. To me, like I have not that. There's none of that in me.
None of it. I have none of it. I don't know. I mean, I have a nice car, but I don't. I really don't drive.
Yeah.
I don't drive, and I don't really care. Fuck. And then we were talking about, you can keep this name, Sebastian Maniscalco. It was published that his house was like $25 million.
Jesus Christ.
And so we were arguing, what would you rather have? A $125 million house, or like a beach house, a lake house, a mountain house, and a house in LA? And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, if you're busy, you might as well have, well, look at this is Sebastian's house.
God damn.
Look at that. He bought it from Gwen Stefani
Ah.
in Beverly Hills. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, so what
fucking
would you
house.
rather? Would you rather the one amazing place that you can spend some time in, or would you rather a bunch of options that you never hit?
Well, I have the latter.
Yeah, right.
I have the houses that we have. Leanne's in a mogul phase of her life.
Oh my God.
She wants to be a real estate mogul, so she's purchasing properties. And we have a beach house I've never gone. I've gone a couple times, but I just, if I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah.
I would love, but the problem is I would love one house. I'd love to live in Malibu.
Yeah.
I would love to live in Malibu on the beach.
Yeah.
The problem is I think I'd be a fucking mess if I lived out there. I think
Yeah.
I would have gotten in today. I would have smoked a joint. I would have smoked a cigar.
You'd have your Mel Gibson video.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sugar tits, relax. It'd be like, Kreischer, what's
I would
going
have
on?
so many DUIs. I would have so many DUIs.
I mean, it's just that one road. So you're like, man, they really wait on this road.
Georgia was home. Georgia was home for Thanksgiving. I feel horrible saying this, okay? Keep it in. I feel horrible saying this. So Georgia was home for Thanksgiving, and we got our food at Gelson's or like Whole Foods. Now, I have a strict rule about no drinking and driving. I never drink and drive.
Sure.
I never drink and drive.
Yeah.
And we go to the Gelson's, and we have to wait for our food for the Thanksgiving dinner to be brought out. And the guy at the thing goes, "Hey, man, you want an IPA?" And I was like, "Yeah."
So do they have the bar and
the bar's right there.
That's they really have like catered towards the alcoholic's brain.
Oh my God.
Like if you like drinking, it really like the idea that now that you are like, well, I'm going to go shopping and have a martini is just sort of like, I don't know if that should be like incorporated.
I sat down at the bar and I had an IPA and I was like, watched football.
Oh my
And my
God.
turkey got brought out and they had it all packed and organized. And Georgia and her friend were with me. And I go, all right, let's go. We get down to the car and I sit in the driver's seat and Georgia goes, "What has happened to you?" I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You think you're going to drive me right now?" I got in the driver's seat. I had a beer.
One?
I had one beer, and I was like, I'm fine, right? In my head. She goes, "We have a rule in this house.
Wow.
You get out." And Georgia got in the driver's seat. She goes, "I can't believe I just saw what I saw." And I was like, I go, "Baby, it was one beer." And she goes, So can I judge if I've had a little bit to drink if I'm okay to drive, Dad? And I went, "Motherfucker, I would be drinking and driving all over Malibu.
Well,
I would be drinking
the
and driving."
move there is to be like, look, if you're going to drive, I'm going to go have a couple more pops.
Yeah.
Like you kind of shot yourself in the foot on this one. Let's go back up. That guy seemed pretty chill. You think he could get blow?
Where would you live? You could live anywhere in LA. Where would you live? Anywhere. Like you could pick anywhere.
I mean, part of me would go with the Malibu plan, but I also feel like, maybe you'd get a little isolated but I kind of I feel like I would handle that pretty well.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like somewhere like Malibu or somewhere like near the beach, far away would be ideal. I would not mind like that drive coming. I did it the other night. Like that drive coming back from Malibu or going to Malibu is like an enjoyable drive. It's not like regular LA driving where you're like, what the fuck is with this guy?
Yeah.
Like you're actually going like, oh, it's pretty. Oh, look at this shit. So I feel like I would say somewhere like that. I mean,
I would go. Here's my. I'll tell you. I'll walk you through where I want to live.
Don't let Leanne hear this because she's gonna be like, click.
I'd go Malibu first. That Malibu's number one.
Yeah.
Then I go Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood Hills, I've always thought that was sexy.
It is.
Like Sunset Plaza. Up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, totally.
I was at someone's house. I just believe his name. I was at.
Really? Yeah. He's got that like.
I mean, he's got like.
He struck it at the right time.
I think sometimes I remember having a manager who didn't have like a house. And I go, "You've been in LA since '89.
Yeah,
Like,
are you good?
What the fuck? Like, how did you not
10% for 30 years?
What the fuck? How did you not buy real estate?
Yeah.
In the boom. Like there was like $20 million mansions right now worth $300,000.
I think that I'm like, because like when I first moved to LA, people were like, you should figure out a way to like buy it. And I'm be like, but I'm not like, I can't like find a bag of weed. Like, how am I going to buy a house? But really, if you just gotten your shit together and just been like, I'm going to do it. I mean, that would have been quite a move.
Leanne is, I got really lucky for many reasons with Leanne, but like in 2008, I remember my uncle called me when the market crashed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
My uncle called me and told me, this is going to be really bad. Just giving you a heads up.
He Dave Anthony'd you.
Yeah. And by the way, my uncle's the smartest man I know.
Yeah.
Dave Anthony'd me.
They should do a podcast.
They should.
Bummers.
Sadly, I think they're interested in a lot of the same thing. My
Oh,
uncle's
man.
a die-hard fucking liberal, like
Yeah,
die hard, like a ride or die motherfucker.
Oh, see, that's not Dave.
Is he really?
No,
Is Dave's I always
Dave's like a
thought Dave's-
political nihilist, basically.
Really?
Yeah, Dave despises everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty equally.
But he called me and he told me, he goes, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. And I went, okay. And so I had this mindset of like, take whatever. I remember I accepted the Travel Channel job at that time. And I was like, take whatever money you can and just make sure everyone's taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm in my brain. Leanne was like, oh, this is when we buy.
Right.
She did not spend a fucking cent.
Right.
She pinched all the corners and bought our first house. Remember my old house?
Yeah.
I love that fucking
That house is awesome.
The best house I've ever owned.
That was the
That was
best.
the best house I've ever owned. It was the funnest house.
That was the
It was
best.
small. Brian Regan walked in one time and he goes, this is what a house should sound like.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's chaos.
It was
in
a
here."
great setup.
It was a great fucking, I had the man cave in
Yeah.
the back and there's
Great
a fucking
man
great
cave.
pool.
Great pool.
Oh, it was a great fucking house.
Yeah.
God damn it.
You go rebuy it. You
I
can
still
pull
have
that
it. I
move.
still
Oh,
have
you
it.
do?
Yeah, I
Oh,
still
that's
have it.
good.
My sister lives in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
yeah. So you go roll over their party every now and then? Just like, we're
I-
actually like a family. You're like, quiet.
I have stuff sent there all the time.
Oh, really?
So I have everything sent there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because that house got
Oh, yeah,
doxxed,
yeah,
so everyone
right.
knew I lived there.
Right.
So, but
So did you buy? You bought?
she bought in like 2009 when the market's
Yeah.
at the bottom. Leanne was like, "We should buy it. Now's when we buy a house."
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, Leanne grew up very poor, like
Yeah.
very very poor. Grew up in trailers.
Okay.
Went to school barefoot. She would downplay
Jesus
all of this.
Christ.
Yeah. She would downplay all of this. If you talk to her, like
That's
she would.
went to school barefoot is really quite a
Yeah,
barometer
I want to
for
say until like fucking third grade.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was the she grew
Don't
up,
tell your kids about shoes. Once they find out, then you buy them some.
she grew up in the foothills of Appalachia.
The irony of growing up in the foothills and no shoes. So fucked up. She's like, my feet hurt. They're like, don't worry about it. I think she's learning about shoes. Shut up. So then you buy?
She grew up poor, like her like really poor. Like no one owned her grandfather. They had like land that was given to them by her great grandfather.
Right.
And so like they had land and they owned this one road. So they all lived on this one road and they would just get a house. They would
Right.
put a trailer on it and then add on to the trailer.
Right.
But
Jesus.
she was destined. She was like, I will build wealth in my life. I will build wealth. And she bought that first house. I did not want it. I went in and I thought I had eye cancer. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's my OCD and my anxiety.
Wow.
I thought I had eye cancer.
Was
and I was
there
like,
anything behind that, or
nope,
you were
nope,
just
nope.
just kind of like?
I just distinctly remember thinking I have eye cancer.
Look, you get what you want. I'm going to be gone soon. I'm pretty sure I have eye cancer.
So
I went to WebMD. yeah, of course. Like,
and so
got the Travel Channel show. I got fucking eye cancer. The market's crashing. All you're buying are shoes. It's a nightmare.
and so but the only thing I liked about that house, my dad looked at it. It's so funny at the time. GMC had given me a Corvette,
Oh wow.
like for like a week or whatever. So I was
Right.
driving a Corvette around when we went and looked at the
Oh,
house.
so this guy's like awesome.
Yeah.
These people.
But my dad was with us, and my dad saw that back room, and he was like, "This could be a good man cave, buddy.
Yeah.
You could convert this into a man cave. It'd be really nice." And that's the reason I bought the house, because of that man cave. And then randomly, Tony Saragusa, God rest his soul, Jason Cameron gave me a legit
Oh right.
fucking man cave.
Right, yeah, right.
From the TV show.
Right,
And
right,
it was
yeah.
the best thing that ever happened. It was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. The best like thing where you go, like, is life real?
Yeah.
Like I was so blown away by that. But that house was so fucking great. Two best feelings in the world: being in love and getting into a bed, getting ready to sleep. A bed that was a perfect bed, a bed matched for you. Let me tell you something right now. I've got that bed. I know I've got that bed because I took a sleep quiz to get that bed. And that bed matches me like the love of my life. It's a Helix. Helix is a premium mattress brand providing tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preference. Helix lineup includes 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, even a mattress made just for kids. So how are you going to know which Helix mattress works best for you and your body? Here's what you do. You take the Helix sleep quiz, you find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes, legit, and your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night risk-free trial. Try out your new Helix mattress. See how your body adjusts. And if you decide it's not the best fit for you, you are welcome to return it for a full refund. Everybody's unique and everybody sleeps differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. Models with memory foam layers to provide optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side like me. Models with a more responsive foam to cradle your body for essential support for stomach and back sleeping positions. Plus, enhanced cooling features to keep you from overheating at night, like my wife. I took the Helix sleep quiz, and I was matched with a side sleeping mattress, and I love it because I do not hurt my shoulder when I sleep on it, and then when I roll over on my side, I disappear into beautiful REM. Don't take my word for it. Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress pick by GQ and Wired. It's even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows, and they're legit pillows. For our listeners, go to helixsleep.com/Bert. With Helix, better sleep starts now. There's nothing quite like the feeling of gathering around a warm fire on a cool evening. I did it last night with my buddy Bobby Kelly and Mike Calta. A smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove makes your outdoor moments even more memorable. And during Solo Stove's holiday event sale, you can get a great deal on a Solo Stove fire pit. And I'm telling you, this is your winter. Make it your winter with a bottle of wine and the outdoors, feeling the wind go through. Upgrade your backyard with a Solo Stove fire pit and create story-worthy moments without the fireside fumes. That's what ruins it. Stainless steel construction designed to regulate airflow and burn more efficiently. So little smoke, you're going to wonder how there's so much fire. They are engineered brilliantly, easy to use, and built to last. Easy to light, too, with a few bits of starter, your fire is blazing in just a few minutes. They're so confident you're going to love it. They'll offer a lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. Let the gifting begin. Shop Solo Stove's holiday event sale for huge site-wide savings and get $10 off with promo code BERT, plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Get an extra $10 off holiday deals at solostove.com, promo code BERT.
And that's Travel Channel money too. So that, like I've worked.
You were on the Travel Channel at the same time. I wanted your show.
Believe me, you wanted your show.
Who's yours with? Evan?
Yeah, Evan Mann. Yeah, my
Evan,
writing partner. And he and ours was called Mancations, but they would be like,
oh, such a good show.
They would slide us Bert the Conqueror DVDs all the time. And they would always be like, here's what Bert would, you were like the barometer, the Bertrometer. They would always be like, here, watch Bert do this. And we'd be like, look, he's great. We're doing a different show.
Yeah, I wanted your show. I wanted to be doing what you do.
Your show, believe me, after our experience, you wanted your show. Because they liked you.
Yours?
Well, the guy, I don't actually fully remember the guy's name. I almost said Stone Phillips, but that's the Dateline guy.
It was Stone.
His name was Stone.
Stone. I still have him in my. I still know Stone. Stone's a motherfucker.
He was
Stone.
Was
you want to know what Stone did to me?
Oh,
this is the best. I hope Stone's hearing this.
It'll be surreal.
I just have him in here as Stone.
Yeah.
Stone. We went to. I wonder what he's doing. I just texted him the other day. I love Stone.
Really?
I love Stone. I always loved Stone. So Stone, we go to Australia, and Stone was the executive in charge of.
You were shooting in Australia.
Shooting in Australia. He was like, he pulled me aside drinking one night, and he was like, "You need to get control of this show." I go, "What?" And he was like,
"Excuse me."
He was like, "These fucking malooks don't know what they're doing. You need to do what Bourdain does." And I said, "What's that?" And he goes, "Fire somebody."
Oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah, they need to know you're playing for keeps. That
Don't
you're
fuck
serious.
around.
Well, we had just gotten picked up for like 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So he's like, this is your show. Bourdain runs his show. You need to be a wild man. This needs to be you. This needs to be you. And he was so random as fuck. We get into we have an altercation with one of the fucking guys. Says he ends up. I mean, sadly, it was a very big learning moment in my life about what it is to be a man. But this guy talks shit about me to the client, to the Australian.
So you're like, actually, you know what? I might fire that asshole.
So I fired him, and Stone's like, yes.
How did you fire him?
I said, hey man,
like in front of people?
No.
Okay.
I called the production company. I said he needs to go home.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. We talked about it. It was really kind of, it was a big, by the way, the guy fucked up big time. He went to the client and the network, and in shooting and said that I basically was a fucking moron, and that I was that I was out of control, and by the way, and I totally wasn't at the time.
Right, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, Stone knows some shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I was like, they're talking shit about me, and it was.
Oh, okay.
It was all this stuff behind me. And I was
that kind of makes sense.
So I was like, all right. So I called the production company. I said, he needs to go home. And they were like, all right, well, I'll tell you what. We won't have any interactions with you and him. We'll keep him at the hotel. We're not going to bring him home. We have a body out there. We need people to work, but we got it. And then, by the way, the guy, in return, the guy called me like a week, 2 weeks after that, and apologized and was like the coolest dude ever. He's very successful in the business now, and I learned so much from that one man that I went, whew. I was like, wow, maybe I was an asshole. Maybe he was right about me. I don't know. It was a good learning moment of like what it's like to be accountable for your behaviors. I still am friends with that guy.
Yeah.
But I do all this shit. Once I fire one guy, I got my head about me. I fucking start fucking
Firestone.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, asshole.
No, on the plane flight home. No, we're on the Great Barrier Reef, right?
Uh-huh.
And Stone pulls me aside. He goes, "You're killing it, man. You're killing it."
Oh wow.
He goes, "This is everything. This is everything I needed to know I could do before I left." And I went, "What?" He goes, "I'm quitting Travel Channel." I go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I go, "You just fucking set me up by myself." He goes, "Yeah, I'm out. Good luck, buddy." He left Travel Channel. Stone. I wish I remembered his name. I love that guy. We used to party.
He was, dude. We had a lot of fun. My experience with the Travel Channel was just total bullshit.
Well, when you do one season,
yeah,
you get fucked.
We got like fucked constantly, and like we had a lot of goodwill starting. That's what I feel like people don't like. If you get a show on the air, it really is like ridiculously. You have your foot in the door. If you get picked up like
wait. This is my TV show.
Oh yeah.
This is my TV show. Is this mine right here? Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, no, he's not on this. This is Bert the Conqueror.
Crew.
I was like, Jesus Christ, Bonnie did yours?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is mine? Oh yeah, that's mine. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Stone's not even on there.
No, he was.
Wait, scroll up. What?
I don't know. Self Fisherman is a great title. Oh man, look at that! Click on that picture of me on IMDb. Okay, let me tell you something about this, Bert. Now look at that fucking picture. Okay, and let me tell you about my nightmare and this fucking picture.
What is that?
Okay, so the first real thing is talk about a Scottish accent. The first thing that I really did before anything when I came to LA was the show called The Real Wedding Crashers.
Oh, with Steve Byrne.
With Steve Byrne. That's how I met Byrne. Yeah. And it was basically from Punk'd, and you would do Punk'd at weddings. Yeah. And so there were a bunch of things, and one of the things they had me, they wanted me to be like a cake maker. And so I was like, I'll be a Scottish cake maker. And so, whatever. I'm like, oh gosh, all the cakes are falling everywhere, like being a fucking like slapstick, like, 40s comedian or whatever. And then when they're doing press pics, they're like, oh, everyone really liked the Scottish baker, so we thought we'd put you up as the baker for like some of the press pics. And I know nothing, so I'm like, okay, great. Not thinking like this picture will haunt me for the rest of my fucking life. And then I can't get rid of it. And on IMDb, you have to pay. I have to pay in order to get rid of this picture. So I'll show up to auditions, and people will be like, so what's with the baker outfit? And I'll be like, oh my God, like I have headshots, and it's always this like. This snarky little,
like looking at the side of your face. I got a secret for you.
I'm coming in the cakes. Yeah, and it's just I can't get rid of it.
Wait, what's my IMDb picture? I think I know mine. I'm imagining something.
I hate my IMDb in every metric.
Oh, I don't mind this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
See, you have people doing shit.
No, I was doing
That's a good. Is that a Conrad's?
No, that is in
Look at that.
it's in Grand Rapids, I think.
Look at that.
What's interesting is the guy.
You got good nips, Bert.
Thank you very much. The guy that shot that picture, interestingly enough, shot it, and I wanted to use it to promote something.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, $25,000." And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "If you give me a rational number, I'll give it. If not, I'm just gonna steal it." He was like, "What?" And I was like, "Give me like a regular number,
like a human negotiation number."
And he was like, "No, it's like $15,000, $25,000." And I was like, "Okay."
What?
So it's just everywhere. And he has. I mean, I was like, I don't know what world you're living in.
It's not how it works.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm the
It's
one.
you.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you can't use that for any promotional. So I just was like, all right. And
I'm
so,
Banksy.
Yeah, but that was a great. I was going to do a show right before I taped my special Seeger Time in Grand Rapids at a bar upstairs, and they had this photographer. He's a really great photographer too.
Yeah.
He's on everyone.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, he had it all set up, had it all lit. And he goes, stand right here. I took 2 pictures, that and another one. And it's a great fucking picture.
Great picture. Great lighting.
Yeah,
the nips, again. Nips are
Thank
super
you.
on point.
Thank
man.
you.
I don't know if you hear that enough.
What was your production like for your special?
It was low key. It was basically my buddy Luke Simmons, who I went to college with, who like has directed some stuff. I was just like, I want you to direct it. He'd never directed a stand-up special before. We hired local people from Pacific Northwest.
Really?
And yeah, just these 2 dudes who were awesome. And just had like 4 cameras. Like I said, it was one show. Like if I could go back and do it again, I would have done 2 shows.
You know what? I've done so many fucking specials now, in my opinion, where I've even just watched people's. I could tell you did 1 show because there was you flub in a line.
Yeah,
early in the thing. No, but I liked it. I like it.
That's how I feel.
And I actually thought, I'm being dead serious. I shot 4 shows for my special I just shot.
With Tomzik.
Yeah, with Tomzik, yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually thought I might keep in some flubs.
Yeah.
When I watched yours, I went, it's not distracting and it makes it feel authentic. It makes me feel in the moment.
That's kind of how I felt like that when I kind of went with just 1 show. That is kind of what I thought. Because there are. And like when you watch it like 100 times, you start going, oh, look at this fucking idiot. He can't get the fucking word out.
Yeah.
But there is something to like, it's like an actual show.
Yeah.
Like if you come and watch someone do a show, it isn't perfect. There are fuck ups. There are moments where it's like, even in the special, there are bits that like murdered at other shows and were, pretty good at that one. But there is something about like the authentic experience that I
loved it. First of all, I loved it because of the venue. Like I have an emotional attachment to that venue.
The best.
It's the best venue, and I thought, oh, it's a great show immediately because that audience gets good comedy.
Yeah,
they're that fucking whatever it is about Portland. They are very liberal, but not like broken liberal.
No, I agree. I mean, I really like.
But you'll get a couple every now and then in that room that are like, you can't say that, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But
you're like, I'm not hitting her. I'm hitting her because I love. You're not listening.
It's a joke about beating her up.
It's a joke about hitting her, for God's sake.
And I would hit you right now if I could.
God damn it. Yeah.
But I love that room, and and I love anything personal that no one else can tell.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about that today. Pete sent me the special this morning, and I was watching it in the airport. And then watching it in my bedroom today. And I was like, there's something authentic about someone's journey that allows you to relate to them or see them in a different light, which I love hot take comics. I love, I say this sadly, like guys like me and you are never going to be considered the GOAT because we talk about our own thing. Yeah. But I got to be honest with you. I don't really, like, I enjoy what we do better,
Well, there is something to the idea of like, I spent probably like the first 5 years of writing stand-up really trying to do more of that, trying to be like,
I did too,
like Seinfeld, like, why is the pharmacist a foot higher? Like that sort of like stuff. But but then it was really like when I started like realizing that my family is fucking weird, that like I have a strange little beginning. And then once I started writing to that, it's like, Like I went on the road with Patton years ago.
Oh, he's so fucking good.
And it was like kind of like it did kind of fuck me up in the way that I was like, well, I'll never do that. But it helped me in the way that I was like, well, he's really just telling stories. And he's just got great little tangents in there. Great observations in there too. But it's all kind of branched into the tree of the story.
Yeah.
And that's like I mean, basically what I like was trying to do was just like tell
you did
a lot of
great.
stories about my family, but then it's like, well, how did the English accent become the American accent? Well, there's like some observation there, but it is all coming from like, you know, my parents.
No, but that's what's awesome about that is you know, the other thing you did in the special that I love is that you were authentic to who we know you to be as the guy we listen to every week.
Yeah.
Like you're still the same fuck around, play with it guy. It's such a great special, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I really appreciate it. I mean, like, you know, I truly like, and I'm not, but you've become so prolific that it's like, I kind of was trying to manage like, well, when should I do it? When is the right time to do it? And then I just kind of was like sick of fucking around and felt like having a target date would just kind of help me cull it into like, you know, so that really, but it is like, I mean, what are you doing? Are you doing one every year and a half, basically?
So I do one usually every 18 months.
Yeah.
But
which is remarkable.
Well,
how often are you on the road? How many, like roughly how many shows do you do a year? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, you can pull it up.
Is it really?
Every weekend. It's just about every weekend I mean, you can legit find out online how many shows I've done, how much money I made. You can find everything all that online. But
the money they always get wrong, don't they? Anytime I've like looked at my self-worth, I'm like, fucking would love it.
Oh no. They so there's this magazine called Polestar that I don't think you're gonna be able to find it. You gotta have an account. But when you do a show, when you do when you start doing bigger venues, you submit your numbers to like the touring gods. This is my Polestar right here. So you can see I took some time off, and then
how dare you?
Those are ticket sales. Those spikes.
Jesus Christ!
And so I had a big run. In
you went nuts.
October. Is that October? Yeah. This last
that was when you were. Oh, just recently.
Last run I've had has been pretty fucking crazy. Yeah. But so you can find the
venues you're doing now. Did you ever think?
No, I never in a million years.
When did you start doing stand-up?
I started when I was 26 years old.
Okay.
When I first started, I didn't know. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't know we could do the road.
Yeah, right.
When I started, I thought, you just do this in New York,
right? And
then maybe you get a movie or a TV show or do commercials.
Yeah.
Judah Friedlander and Jim Gaffigan were really big in commercials, and I remember hearing that Judah got $250,000 for doing a Snickers commercial.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'd do that. I'd do any of that
for sure."
Like I'll host Good Morning America. Like I didn't know that there was a thing, and then I got a deal with Will Smith's company, and so I was like, "Oh, I'll do television," and then I got like a talk show on FX. And then when I started doing the road, I was just saying this to Tom, and I were talking about this the other day. When we toured with people, things that were big to us, we were like, whoa, can you imagine doing that? And now, I mean, Tom's way bigger than I am, but Tom did 2 United Centers in Chicago. I mean,
nuts.
but I don't think I never realized that I never realized there was anything outside of clubs.
Yeah.
Because no one did theaters when we were younger.
Yeah.
I remember people.
Specials, people would have like an HBO special or something.
I remember the common talk was, why would he do it in a theater? No one performs in theaters.
Yeah.
You should do it in the clubs where you perform.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing theaters, I definitely never thought I'd do arenas.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd do
You can't, I don't think you can possibly, even in your like vision board fantasy land as a comedian, can say to yourself, I mean, you have like an ego problem if you're like, I will do Madison, I will do stadium.
Oh,
you cannot possibly do that.
Well, the first arena I ever did was in Green Bay.
Oh my God.
In Green Bay is when I met Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And it was the first arena I ever did. And I pulled up and we were drunk and we pulled up, we woke up outside of it and I was confused. I said, where the fuck are we? And I was like, and they're like, oh, we're in Green Bay. I said, wait, what the fuck is this? And I walked in and they were setting up an arena and I go, what room are we playing?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this is us.
Like,
And I was just not,
you're not listening to me.
yeah. You get ticket sales. Every day I get ticket sales.
Yeah.
Every other day I get ticket sales. I just look at the percentages and then I highlight percentages that are low and I go, I got to focus on,
make some content for them.
like, the Mullet Arena. I just added a third show at the Mullet Arena, in February, but that's how my brain works is I watch that. I watch those percentages.
Yeah.
So if you add a new show, I go, boom, Greece. I don't have my ticket prices are low in Greece. And then I register it and I go, all right. So I don't really pay attention. If it says 98%, I just go, all right, done. You're off my books. And we were sold out in Green Bay, but I didn't pay attention. It was I think at the time it was like 10,000, maybe 7,000. I don't know. But, and I walked in and I went, what room are we in? And they're like, this is us. And I was like, wait, we're in a fucking arena? The same thing happened. That was a period of time. The same thing happened in Tallahassee. I was at the Donald L. Tucker Center and I went, okay. And I was like, because sometimes in the civic centers, they'll have like like Madison Square Garden has the garden and then it also has a theater.
Right, yeah,
You can do the theater. It's 5,000 seats. It's a big fucking theater, but
still
you can do both. And I went to the Donald L. Tucker Center and walked in and saw that I was playing because I went to school in Tallahassee. I saw I was playing in the place I had saw Nirvana play.
Jesus
Nirvana
Christ.
and Smashing Pumpkins, and I went, what, in the same setup, same end stage, and I was like,
same
what?
in utero, like stuff behind you and shit. You're like, can we get the baby stomach out? That's kind of weird.
I was so blown away but that was a period of time where I wasn't paying attention to the venues, and so
which
I was
is
like,
kind of crazy in its own right to like be like.
Yeah, but you get
because you kind of do like I mean even if no matter where you are like you're always like you always kind of have to obsess over growth and numbers to not be like how are my Tucker Center numbers doing?
So it's very simple. I mean this is for anyone listening. I'm not saying it to you. I think you probably already know the majority of this, but this is a very simple path of progression in stand up.
Yeah.
First and foremost, $20 tickets. If you can get to $20 tickets and sell out a weekend, bro, you are top 10% of comics that's ever fucking lived.
Yeah.
That's so difficult. $20 tickets, sell out the weekend, you are in.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a fucking list of comics that is amazing. And by the way, this list is pretty broad. You're gonna get guys like Jay Medicine Hat and like guys that maybe you've never heard of that are like they're like the Raging Cajun.
Yep.
But like and then you go to the next growth is $35 tickets. And if I'm telling you right now, if you can sell out $35 tickets on the weekend, 35 is a different number than 20. It really is.
Yeah.
For someone to look at it online, that is if you can sell out 35 tickets, you're going to be a star.
Yeah.
If you can sell out $35 tickets, you're on a path. And then the next one's theaters. And so this is why it never registered me. Theaters work with, if you do a theater tour and you're doing one show, you're not making tons of money.
Yeah.
I don't mean to shit on anyone, and everyone's deals are different. I don't want anyone to hear this and go, hold on, Bert, I'm doing a theater tour. I'm only doing one show. Theater tours are fucking big. But what the difference in theater tours is if you do two shows, all the rent you've paid for the theater, because you have to rent the theater.
The overhead on a theater.
The overhead on theater is through the roof. If you can do two shows in the theater, you are golden. You're making as opposed to, and these are make-believe numbers, but you're making as opposed to making $12,000 for the night, you're making $180,000. Like those are blown up in the way I need you to hear them. But
from my experience, real blown up.
Yes, they're very blown up. They're very blown up. But and then once,
but still,
this is why I wasn't paying attention, is because I saw one show nights as a failure.
Oh,
and
that's actually great.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I would go, and I remember doing another place I did the Rocket Mortgage Center in Cleveland. And I had one show, and I was like, I didn't know that it was I just didn't know. And I was like, and the number, so here's the other tricky thing about arenas is you never really technically sold out because they can always keep pulling the curtains back. And technically you're sold out once you're in the round.
Right.
So like,
Jesus
when that's like 22,000 tickets, it's like, who the fuck, Bill Burr makes those those tickets, right? And so Bill Burr, Chappelle, Rogan, those are the fucking gangsters.
Yeah.
Guys like me and Seguro, we're doing end stage.
Yeah.
A lot of comics, and there's nothing wrong with end stage. But that means that they can keep adding tickets. So I remember doing the Rocket Mortgage Center, and they kept the percentage kept dropping.
You're like Sisyphus.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, son of a
people
bitch.
are canceling?
Yeah, and I was like, is everyone returning their tickets?
They're like, yeah, Bert, people aren't loving it.
And so we did the Rocket Mortgage Center, and then I got in there and I went, and then
Holy
all the
fuck.
curtains were pulled back, and I
Yeah.
went, oh, that's why they're doing it. Same thing in Pittsburgh. But now I'm a little more, but I remember leaving there and going, I got fucked tonight. I got fucked. That I'm never doing another arena. This is stupid.
Why?
Well, it was a great show. It was a great show, but I just didn't know the money. I didn't know how the money worked out. So I was like, I only did one.
Yeah.
I'm going to get, and you got to pay for it. You got to pay for
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You gotta
That's
pay
a
for the
lot.
fucking-
I
you gotta
mean,
pay for
that's
so
nuts
much shit.
too.
You got to pay for so much shit. And then I got the check and I went, oh, actually, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's actually really good. I was like, oh, I'd rather do more of these.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing
That's the
only
best way to do
arenas
it.
next year. And then I got to reassess what I want to do. Cause arenas are so much fun. Have you ever done an arena?
No.
Oh, do you want to?
Yeah.
When? Where?
Whenever.
Do you want to do Green Bay?
Yeah.
Are you
Fuck
serious?
Yeah.
Hey, Halston, pull up my schedule. I'm
When
in
is
Green
it?
Bay. I'm in Green Bay.
When?
Probably February or March.
I have some dates, but yeah.
Yeah, let's do. Oh, that would be fucking
That'd
awesome.
be great.
We'll get Aaron Rodgers to come out to the. Oh, he
my
won't be there
God.
then. Probably.
Yeah, I'll need like my pants. changed.
When's Green Bay? It's
Look
the
at
Bosch
this.
Center. TD Gardens.
Just nuts.
Emily. It's going to be Resch Center. The Resch Center. February 24th.
Yeah.
I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I think. I think so.
So wait. So it'll be. Hold on. It'll be. We'll do Cedar Rapids, Green Bay, Minneapolis, and then Giant Grand Forks.
Yes.
Fuck. Do you want to do the run? Hold on. So how long can you take off the road? Because we can also get you into Fargo, which is already sold out. And oh my God, you want to do 2 weeks and do Canada?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I think.
Let me know what you can do.
Yeah. Well, let's
Let me know what
text
you can
about
do.
it. I think so. I think I definitely do.
Dude,
That'd be amazing.
And then all the Packers come out.
Oh my God.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
I will throw you. Okay, so like the only other thing the thing I'm better at than stand up is wish fulfillment. Like I love like Shane Gillis,
Yeah.
one of my
Awesome.
favorite human beings in the world. I wanted him to do Fully Loaded.
Yeah.
My Fully Loaded festival, and he was like, I do it, and he was like, I'll do it. 'Cause you're gonna go through Notre Dame through South Bend, and I said, I'll tell you what, if you sign up for this, I promise you, I'll hook you up in South Bend. And he goes, okay. And I threw the fucking kitchen sink at it. I did everything. We had a full fucking tour of the stadium, the field, the locker rooms,
Dude.
everything. And so I promise you,
dude.
We'll go first of all. We'll go to Lambeau.
I feel like you should come out of a lamp.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be fucking great.
You're shirtless. You're granting wishes.
It's gonna be awesome.
You're
The
a
Bosch
genie.
Center. What's it called? The Resch Center.
Oh man,
That's the first arena I ever did.
Oh,
And it's a great.
Christ.
It's kind of intimate. It's where the hockey team plays.
It looks intimate.
Well, I mean, you get skewed a tad bit.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, this is kind of like my jazz club.
No, it is. The best thing about these arenas is they have facilities.
Yeah.
So you can use facilities. So I bring my trainer with us and we all work out. We do polar plunges.
Oh,
We have
dude.
it's like being like in a.
I'm jealous of your polar plunge life too.
Oh, dude.
That's the shit.
I got mine out back. I'll show you when we get done.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's a great.
So wait, put it in the universe. What do you want? Like, what do you want? Do you want to do arenas? Would you because Louis told me one time he was like, and I don't mean to put words in Louis' mouth, but he was like, arenas are for you. He's like, they're not for your fans. He's like, your fans would rather see you in a theater. He's like, arenas are they give you a one run of arenas.
I mean, honestly, like I do mean in the way that like I almost could not process it. Like I would like to do that, but but truly, like I think for me, like I'm at the point where like I just want to build out. I just want to grow. Like I feel like
Pull up your schedule. Pull up Gareth's schedule right now.
well, it's not all up there, but yes.
Do you have a new tour supporting the hour?
Basically, I'm going to go do some dates at the end of January. Then I have dates in March. But yeah, I mean, I really just want to do more podcasts to promote the special.
The first thing
like
that comes up is Gareth Reynolds' mom.
I know.
Why?
It's either Gareth Reynolds' mom or Gareth Reynolds' cat. It's really like shitty. Because my mother's been a guest on the podcast a few times and people love her. And my cat is almost more popular than I am. So it's been like pretty difficult.
House of Comedy, I always wanted to perform there.
That's great. I bet you could sell tickets there. I don't know. I mean, I
I
feel like you might be able to do
I was
it.
in Detroit this morning.
Oh, for real?
I flew out.
I love Detroit.
Hartford Funny Bone, I love that fucking place.
Yeah, I love that place.
West Nyack's got a great mall.
Yeah.
Summit
Yeah, it does.
Brewworks in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne's got one of the best strip clubs.
Really?
Christie's? No, not Christie's. It's got one of the best strip clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Helium, Indianapolis. You know what you got to do?
This is all
You gotta do-
March.
This is all March. You know what you got to do? You got to do Pat McAfee's podcast when you go there.
Oh, dude, I love Pat McAfee.
Is he not? He is the fucking best.
Dude, by the way, that is like him getting Rogers. That really is like one of those things where you're like, that's such a good, because that did open people up to being like, oh, Pat McAfee is fucking awesome.
Pat McAfee's
He really is great.
But the thing I love about Pat McAfee is he's also a professional athlete. So
yeah,
like
great
so like,
insight.
So there's
great,
so
great
you get all the great
broadcaster.
insights, but you also get one of the things that makes Rogan so special is he has competed at the highest level of physicality.
Yeah.
So there's a groundedness to those guys that you're never going to get from me.
Yeah.
Like I talk shit out my ass.
Yeah.
And those guys do not talk shit.
No.
If they say it, they mean it.
Yeah.
Like I am not that guy. I am not that fucking guy.
Yeah. No, I fucking think I would love to do his podcast.
Yeah. I'll
He's
hook you up
dope.
with McAfee.
Dude, love
what
him.
podcast are you doing to support the special?
I mean, right now I got the Bertcast. That's my buddy Bert Kreischer.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to do the Sam Morril, Mark Norman one in New York.
What are you?
I'm doing Are You Garbage?
Oh, love it. KFC Radio.
No.
Oh, let me set you up right now.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah.
Let me set you up right now.
No, that's really what I'm trying to do is like, because like I'm happy with the special, but I also like I feel like the Dollop fans like will go watch my special, but I'm just trying to get more people to go watch it, like as many people as possible. And you can go to my website, GarethReynolds.com. There's a link to go watch the special. People are curious. England Weed and the rest. And
when are you in New York?
I'm in New York end of January, basically. Like first week of February, end of January. So like my plan was in New York, like February,
Wait,
like
when?
February 1st, like February 7th. I was gonna spend in New York trying to do podcasts.
I'm texting.
You're the man. Do you get manicures?
No, I don't.
You got good nails.
Thank you.
You got good nips and nails.
There's
a new special title for you, maybe. Nips and nails. Work with me, Bert.
I came up with the title. Right now, my main thing is because like people always go, "What do you want to call your next special?" And then I'm always like, "Oh, I got to think about a ton of names." Then, so the other day, I was like, "I'm just going to start looking for names for specials and everything as I move through the earth."
Do you not have the name for the last one you did?
No, I do.
You do,
yeah, I do. But I had it before. So I named this one off of Secret Time. I say Secret Time so much.
Secret Time, that's actually but that special you kind of had to call
Hang on
Secret
one second. In New York, promoting his special in February.
Early
You
February.
have to have him on. He's
First
fucking
week.
hysterical. Okay.
Pretty
I just texted
Pretty
Barstool. I said Secret Time so much in private
Yeah.
that I would say,
Right.
I was like, oh, and I was doing it on stage. I still do it where like, I was like, I'll tell secrets about Tom all the time. Where I go, Secret Time?
Secret Tom.
Yeah, Secret Tom. The other day I saw one, and I misread things. I'm dyslexic, so I misread things all the time.
Uh-huh.
Blood, Sweat, and Beers.
That's pretty good,
That's a good
too.
one, right? That's a good one.
That's a really
Yeah,
good one.
You can leave that in.
That's a
Blood,
really
Sweat,
good
and
one.
Beers.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Shits and giggles.
You'll
Shits and
have
giggles.
that before you go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Secret Time, like you say Secret Time so much in it, so it's like such an applicable one. But that's kind of interesting because like for me, I just felt like for this one, I was like, well, it's about three things really.
I loved it.
Well, which is kind of what I was
loved
basically
it because I kind of once you moved, I was like, okay, all right, yeah.
Which is really like my first plan was to like release it in 3 chunks, and I was going to do one on England, one on weed, one on the rest, and do 3 20-minute specials.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, I don't know, I just felt like doing a regular one. But then it's really like segmented, which did kind of help me in a way to be like, just write 20 minutes for each block of shit.
No, dude, I think I love it. And I love, I mean, obviously I think a little too inside baseball sometimes.
Yeah.
But I love that you have weed in the title. Because I think that's something that everyone.
I don't smoke weed anymore though.
No, not at all.
No. That's one of the weird things. Like I had all this material about.
That's very clickable.
Yeah. No, I really. But
like if Andrew Schultz was here, he'd be like, "You got to do Andrew Schultz's podcast."
Yeah, I've been trying to do
Andrew
Flagrant
Schultz
too.
is fucking.
Yeah, I know. I've known Akash forever. Dude, he's the best. I've known both those dudes for fucking ever, and both the best dudes.
He is the
Akash
sweetest.
Has been my boy.
Akash is great.
Ever.
Akash, I had the hardest laugh I've ever had with Akash that I had to edit out of a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
His laugh is like. You're like, are you gonna piss? What's going on right now?
He said to me, he goes, "You cannot edit this out," and I was like, "I have to. It's so obnoxious." Do you remember that, Halston? I found out Don Lemon made $4 million a year.
How much?
$4 million.
Oh my god!
But like, and from
I mean that even I don't make that, but that's very funny to me. Still, it's like
doesn't seem like
it's not. It's like a fucking. Oh, that's amazing.
I thought it was gonna be like 20, 30 million.
I thought you said 40, and I was gonna be like, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I said 4 million.
And he's doing the road.
He can't do commercials.
Nothing.
Like, we laughed so hard, and Akash was like, his eyes were lit up. He was like, he goes, "That's a lot of money, though, right?" And I was like, No. He works every fucking day. He's up
at like 5.
Yeah, and he's got to pay for his car note, right?
Yeah.
Like he can't get like radio guys. If you're a radio guy, you make $4 million. You're getting making $4 million with so much passive income. My buddies,
yeah, right.
I won't say their names, but Cowhead, he makes over that, and he gets a free car. He gets a free you get all this passive income, because you do reads for like local things.
Yep.
I laughed so hard, and we had to edit it out because I could not.
It's too unrelatable.
It's unrelatable because
you know, like, yeah,
I know how hard it is to make $4 million, right?
Yeah.
But I also, and this is where I think you'd get it, is like with Patreon and with podcasting and with ad reads.
Yeah.
I'm not saying $4 million is a lot to make as a podcaster.
Yeah.
It's a lot to make, but when you start looking at people like, like Tim Dillon is making probably well over that.
Yeah.
And Tim Dillon works 1 hour a week.
Yeah. No.
And he the rest of the time he spends at the Polo Lounge eating steaks and lobsters. and you're just
getting
like,
gout.
Yeah. And you just are like, wow, like he really like it's antiquated. And this is what I find so funny about this is that Don Lemon is someone that we all know his name.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that I can't say this out loud, so a lot of people are going to roll their eyes. But why? We talked about it on Flagrant.
Oh yeah,
we talked about it on Flagrant. But the thing is, like, Don Lemon could start his own shingle. He could set up his own thing, do his own podcast, do his own news.
Yeah, do his own media thing.
And you cut out all these middlemen, and you have a lot of money. I remember. This will put perspective on it. I remember when during the pandemic, Travel Channel reached out to me, and they wanted me and Tom to do a show for them that we produced and we made.
Uh-huh.
And the money, and I'm not shitting on, like, I still work for a lot of these corporations and a lot of these companies, but the money was so off on what we made in podcasting that I didn't even know how to respond.
Yeah.
That I was like, hey, just give you a heads up, like,
you just write back your fire.
We do whatever you want us to do for an hour. We do that in a minute. Yeah. Like for 1 minute, that's our 1 minute read.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so things have changed so much.
You guys should reach out to Don Lemon. He's like hungry for work.
If Don Lemon wants, I will set him up.
Oh.
This is what I'll do. Don, if you're listening, in a heartbeat, but you got to be drunk Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Drunk Don Lemon's my favorite.
Yeah.
New Year's
Lemon
Eve,
drops.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. And it's drunk Don Lemon. A bar, because on New Year's he does get drunk.
That's why I love.
So
that's the only reason.
And that would be
the
fucking
Don Lemon,
great.
The Don Lemon,
Loose Don Lemon
is a fun fucking guy. I also like an insightful, smart guy.
Totally.
Look, I'm best friends with Rogan. I didn't like when he kind of fudged the news a little bit to attack Rogan. I love Rogan. He's my guy. Yeah. But Don Lemon. I will sign you. I will sign you to a $4 million a year contract.
this would be the greatest thing if you fucking take Don Lemon
I
away
could
from
make
CNN.
so much money from Don
And then
Lemon.
by the way, if you put this in front of him, like, Don, look, I know you like getting up at 4:30 in the morning, but how about if we just party at night? You do lemon drops with me producing, you make the same money, and it's just you getting hammered on different.
I'll go into my pocket. I obviously have to go into my pocket
Yeah.
for the first year.
Yeah.
I'll give you $4 million a year. Don Lemon, I'm looking in the camera. I'll give you $4 million a year
This
if we can make lemon drops.
this is great.
And what it is I'll build you a studio in Atlanta.
Whatever you want, Don.
Whatever the fuck.
I'm not
the
pitching any
world-
money, but Don, whatever you want.
The world is your oyster. You're gonna have guests on, and we're getting wasted with you.
Yeah.
Lemon drops is. Do you realize how many people listening right now go, I'd actually fucking watch
I
that.
would totally.
By the way, and let Don Lemon be the guy he is. He's
That's what I was just about to say.
He's a gay African American who I want all of Don Lemon. I don't want any
no
corporate
script.
bull.
Yeah, no
script.
teleprompter shit. Not to sound
Yeah.
like Trump, but just Don Lemon.
I fucking see. That's the
Let's
guy.
go.
That's the guy I root for.
Yeah,
Like that's the guy I root for.
Totally.
I think sometimes with corporations, they take your diversity and they use it on their behalf.
Totally.
Not realizing that we celebrate, and I know this is coming out hokey, but we celebrate your diversity for real, authentically.
Yeah.
Authentically. Like, I like when Don Lemon gets hammered at New Year's Eve
the best.
and kind of like,
And like the
flirts it up.
producer's
Yeah.
like, all right, cut away.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know what Don's doing.
I
Relax,
love that.
Don. Yeah, I
That's
agree.
the guy. I don't want who you had to be in high school. I want who
Well,
you
that's
were
why-
your first freshman year of college.
They are fucking actors. I mean, that really, like, he gets paid pretty well to be an actor who reads lines in front of him.
$4 million a year.
$4
I'll give you 4.1 just so I can outbid.
And by the way, free booze. We're talking free booze. We're talking free food.
Oh,
And-
what's the best? Where's the best location? Where do we move? I want to move him to New Orleans.
I was gonna say New Orleans.
New Orleans. We put him.
I
in,
think
in
we
like
start him in New Orleans,
right on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful, like old schoolhouse.
I got another part. If he gains 20 pounds, he gets an extra $1 million. Because I think that's gonna be easy.
I love it.
I want to see a bigger lemon. Give me a little like wider.
It's an open offer, and I'm not fucking around,
Yeah.
Don Lemon. Listen, I'm starting. I have a wife who's a mogul, and I'm starting a media company.
So
I am full blown.
join BNN.
By the way, I'm not even fucking around. I will.
Let's go.
I will fly to Atlanta and do Something's Burning with me, you, and Don Lemon in a
God.
heartbeat.
Jesus Christ, Bert.
I like. By the way,
I
here's
would
the thing:
love
is
it.
that like
I would love it.
when he gets drunk on New Year's, it's my favorite thing in the world.
Well, because first of all, because he seems like a fun drunk.
he does.
But second, because it's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like you are like, oh, this dude is like legit okay.
Here's what I love about Don Lemon, okay? And I know that I understand that I have a lot of fans that are ride or dies for Rogan and they hate Don Lemon.
Yeah.
But you need to understand, you can like both things.
Yeah.
Don Lemon.
I
is
hate what Don Lemon does.
No, here's
But
can
I like-
Can I just pitch
Yeah,
you what I love
yes.
about him? Is so me and you go to Key West with Don Lemon, right?
It's really good so far.
I love him.
Key lemon pie.
Start off with getting scooters, right?
This is great.
Don Lemon's in a tank top, and we're driving around. We get a few drinks. We bail on the scooters. We get fucking hammered. Don Lemon goes on a tear, and he like takes us to some of the funnest underground clubs we don't even know about. We have a blast. He gets out of control. We have to pull him out of a bar. He starts a fight with the bartender,
Yeah.
and then we pull him out of the bar. The best part of Don Lemon. This is why I'm offering you $4.1 million. Is the next morning when we wake up, he's up with a cup of coffee
Yeah.
and he's got bagels for us and he's reading the paper and he goes, "Do you hear what's happening in Ukraine?"
Oh my God.
And he's smart as fuck. He's like Dave.
Yeah, right.
He really is like Dave.
Right.
He's smart as fuck, but he knows how to party.
Yeah.
And like, who doesn't want that as a best friend?
I agree.
A guy that like can explain for me and you, a guy
Yeah.
that can explain what's going on. Let me tell you what
Unfiltered too.
yeah.
Just us. No prompter.
No
Just
prompter.
Don Lemon going like, I think there's a little bullshit.
Yeah, I think
I think
like
there's two
Putin.
Joe Bidens. I'll be like, Don, let's fuck yeah.
And that's the Don Lemon people want. I'm
Yeah.
being dead serious.
Totally.
That he would revolutionize
That-
media. The problem is, okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get really into the weeds.
Here we go.
What's not Kelly Clarkson? What's the lady who Kelly?
Megyn Kelly.
Megan Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm a I'm a big fan. I think she's so fucking hot.
She's very attractive.
So fucking hot.
Very
She's so fucking
attractive.
hot. But the problem is, Megyn Kelly doesn't wear two hats.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
get
right.
her drunk, she stays in Megyn Kelly.
Right.
Right? Like
Yeah.
Don Lemon wears two hats, and you can tell he's wearing two hats.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about him.
I like the idea that we're somewhere and you're telling him to put a shirt on.
Yeah.
I like the should be like, Don, come on, get that shirt on.
Don, what the fuck?
Well,
are you
yours
doing?
is off.
Yeah. Don,
Don, have some.
chill the fuck out,
Don.
Don. He's a cool dude, bro.
Hey, we're shooting lemon drops. Everybody relax.
Lemon drops is a fucking brilliant idea.
Dude, that would be, I hope this can happen. Whatever I can do to get involved.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I'm being dead serious.
I'm
gonna
not
lean
fucking
on you.
around.
If Don Lemon reaches out, and by the way,
If you get a DM from Don Lemon, like, Bert, are you?
I'm gonna call.
fucking-
First thing I'm doing is I'm gonna say to Leanne, I'm gonna need to sell one of the houses.
Mhm.
We're
She's
giving-
gonna be like, were you drinking wine during the podcast?
Oh, fuck yeah.
She'd be like, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now listen, I'm stealing Don Lemon from CNN.
First thing we do to promote Lemon Drops, go on Rogan.
Oh my God.
Me and Don Lemon on Rogan, and we get
A
drunk.
Don Lemon Rogan?
And you watch Don Lemon turn a little sour as he drinks, and
As
he's
he's-
like, yeah, and he's like, I knew I was lying.
Oof. As he says it's yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he's like, it's canoeing a little. Honestly, Joe, they were just telling me to say that. I just want to make sure it was canoeing a little.
Yeah, and then Joe's like, Joe would love Don Lemon.
Oh my God.
He would love Don Lemon.
5-hour episode.
5-hour episode. I wouldn't be shocked if we all took ivermectin on the podcast.
Oh my God. We're just gonna smoke DMT and take ivermectin. Rogan's like, this DMT's got ivermectin in it. It's like, I'll do whatever I'm not sure what's going on.
Fuck CNN.
Yeah.
Don Lemon's dropping
Do you want us
N-bombs.
to edit that out? No, that's the show, baby.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fucking epic. And that's the thing with, it's like, look, I get it. If you've never made money dancing, then it's scary to get on the dance floor, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
like,
right.
And if you made money behind the DJ booth, then you stay behind the DJ booth. And I get it. But we make money dancing. Like being a little foolish, being a little fun,
Yeah.
being out there and saying regrettable things and
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Have you ever said anything on the hey, I think one of my dogs is trying to break a window. Are you cool with dogs?
Yeah, super
Okay.
cool dogs.
Grunt Style is an American veteran-owned and operated company that prides itself in patriotic spirit with the motto, pride in self, military, and country. I love these guys. They've sent me some of the coolest stuff. Not just their gear, but they've got a lot of other stuff, too, that I'm in love with. With more than 200 veterans on staff, Grunt Style has taken the American fighting spirit and instilled it in everything they do. Grunt Style makes high-quality clothing with patriotic themes that wave the American flag with pride. To Grunt Style, what you wear is more than just a necessity. It's about attitude. They've taken the American fighting spirit and instilled it in everything they do. You don't have to be a veteran to wear Grunt Style, but you do have to love freedom, bacon, and whiskey. And I love all three of those. If they put Kool-Aid in there, I mean, come on, it's my brand. Grunt Style had humble beginnings, starting off as a t-shirt company out of the back of their founder's car at Fort Benning. They have since grown to employing almost 400 Americans and producing apparel for workout, everyday wear, fishing, hunting, and more. Grunt Style Club members get free shipping, special discounts, and contests, and exclusive tea each month. Grunt Style Foundation partners with organizations that provide mental health support, PTSD, depression, anxiety, combat stress, and transition to civilian life. The Grunt Style Foundation is active in programs to help with food insecurity and homelessness for veterans and their families. Bertcast listeners get 15% off any order from now through December 31st. Go to gruntstyle.com and use code BERTCAST15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order. That's gruntstyle.com and the code BERTCAST15. Fellows, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? We've all had those nights where we get too nervous, or maybe we've had too much to drink. There's nothing worse than not being able to put the stick shift into drive when you need to go to Flavortown. But have no fear, RexMD is here, spreading cheer even when you've had few too many beers. RexMD is FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They have sponsored this episode to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all the men out there last longer and feel more confident in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescriptions, and they deliver it discreetly to your door. No waiting rooms, no embarrassing trips to the doctor, no insurance, and no copays. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. Go to rexmd.com/Bert for this limited time deal. RexMD has made the whole process so simple. There's no need to jump through a bunch of hoops to get set up with an embarrassing doctor appointment just to get your medication. With just a few clicks of a button, you can talk to a medical professional, create a personalized plan, and get the product discreetly shipped straight to your door within 2 days. RexMD doesn't just have ED medication. Other medications help sexual health, hair growth, pain relief, and sleep aid. They're also here to make sure you save big. Did you know Viagra can cost around $90 a pill? What? But RexMD has made generic Viagra that's just as effective for as low as $2 a pill. Unlike other brands, RexMD is FDA approved, clinically tested, and a U.S. licensed pharmacy. You'll be getting FDA approved ED treatments at 90% cheaper rates than the doctors. Yes, 90% cheaper. It's fast, it's simple, and it's cheap, and you can access your U.S. licensed RexMD physician anytime you need afterwards. RexMD has already helped over 300,000 guys gain confidence and quickly and conveniently, and they're here to help you. Act now to take advantage of their best deal yet by heading to rexmd.com/Bert. Our exclusive deal will save you up to 90% off, where you'll only pay $2 per dosage. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/Bert for up to 90% off. Give the gift of pleasure this holiday season with RexMD. But you know what I mean? Like, have you ever said anything on the Dollop where you're like, we should probably take that out?
I mean, very rarely.
Yeah.
But part of the thing with the Dollop is that, like, you are sometimes, like, in really sensitive, situational
See, I think I've said
shit.
stuff on the Dollop where I'm like, I can't believe I'm
You've
doing
said
that.
shit on the Dollop that people are like, 100% honey making situation always gets quoted. I don't even remember what the fuck it's in reference to, but it was like some person on the show, like someone in the show said like it was a honey making situation, and you were like, I'm 100% a honey making situation. It was something like that. I don't know. That happens to me where people are like, will you do your impression of a womb again? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But there's that one, and then there's a couple others. Oh, because we did the one where it was the Native American who cries is like an Italian actor.
Oh, I was obsessed with that.
Yeah. So that
The dog's okay? Okay.
that was like one of them. But like I've definitely said stuff where I've been like, I might get some shit. And we've gotten shit. We did this one episode on this dude who invented this is like, I'm going to give you like the Cliff Notes version, but this dude invented a briefcase that could suck your dick. And
Hold on. Fucking. I'm already interested. You've got me on board.
More carry on, Mr. Kreischer. So this dude basically...
You're going to need to put that in your head. Just one more minute.
Sir, please. No, it won't be going anywhere. It's attached. Trust me. This thing's fully sucked onto an apparatus. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this dude came up with it was obsessed with like coming up with a thing that would suck his dick, like a machine. This is like in the 80s or something.
Really?
Yeah, way before like
before the good stuff we have. 'Cause I have a couple of those.
Way before the beautiful
I have
fleshlight
so
era.
many that I wrote a joke about AIs taking over with orgasms first. AIs have figured out orgasms way before us.
Or if they decide they want to start making little Kreischers, they're like the fleshlights are like, we have eggs in us. You'll be like, that's not great. That's not good news at all. There's 19 little Kreischers running around.
AIs have been collecting my eggs for a while. Dude, I have this thing. I have
This is quite a reveal.
I'm fucking hammered. Wait. Wait, hold on. Pull up. Why do you have...
Well, I love
that
you're
Don
like,
Lemon
yeah, it's
drunk?
Don. That's Don drunk. You know what, dude? You know what we'll call ourselves when we roll around town?
What?
The Dontourage.
We could fucking blow him.
Lemon drops, bro.
He would change media. He would change the landscape of media.
It would actually also, if it created the off-ramp for these people to stop just doing this bullshit.
Yeah.
Be
On both
great.
sides. I need
Both
to be fair.
sides.
Like, I can't
For
like,
sure.
I hate my fucking thing. I hate is when I read an article and it's like, and clearly they clickbait the fucking outrage side of me.
Yeah.
And then I start reading it and I go, God damn it, who fucking wrote this?
Yeah.
And then you're like halfway through and you're like, I can't believe anything you guys fucking say.
No.
Like, just give me the I just want the facts. I want the legit facts.
Also, what's like valuable?
Yeah.
Not like the same, like when the Queen died was a really good example of like, you guys don't have anything to say.
No.
And why the fuck are we all talking about a dead old lady who had a crown?
How did your parents
My mother fucking did not take it great. My mother and I, like, there are certain things we don't talk about, and the Queen's passing was one of them. Because I was like, she was like a racist old lady. And my mom goes, well, to me, she was a good queen. And I was like, what did she do? And she goes, we won't talk about it. I was like, one thing she did. She's like, we won't talk about it. We won't talk about it.
It was the same in my house.
And I'm like,
but I was your mom.
Oh, no.
I swear to God. I go, hold on. She was our queen. And then Georgia goes, she's not our fucking queen. And I go, hold on.
Let me finish.
I go, because I watched The Crown, right?
Yeah, okay.
And so I fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Because I like the actress that played her.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with her and her sister because it felt for me that history got thrown onto them.
Yeah.
That they didn't want that. And then they got it. And then they did a good job. Obviously, I'm reading that like the Crown is completely fictionalized.
Yeah.
Like they're like, none of this should happen.
Yeah.
But they made her a very empathetic character where we were like, fuck, man, like she didn't want to marry a Nazi. Like she was.
Well, her cousin also.
Your cousin was a Nazi.
I mean,
like,
by the way, talk about two red flags.
I feel bad for. By the way, that I watched, in The Crown, I ended up loving the fucking Prince Philip.
Oh man,
I loved him.
Oh, dear.
I loved him.
Oh man,
I loved him, and I was like, "This is my guy,
my man." Name one difference between me and this guy.
Damn right. Did you ever see, like, he would go into indigenous cultures and just fuck everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
was a savage. But then he was on Game of Thrones, House of Dragons.
Oh,
Same
really?
actor. And I was like,
you're like,
oh, it's the actor I like.
We're like, oh my God. I've erred greatly.
Because he's fucking his cousin in Game of Dragons. And I'm like, what is up? This guy gets a pass with me. The fucking, there's that life he lived as Prince Philip. Was it Prince Philip?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He could do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
No rules.
Oh, wait. The one who went to Epstein's Island? No.
Yeah,
Philip.
Yeah,
Philip is.
Wait, who did?
Andrew's the Epstein Island. Philip's the.
I saw Prince Andrew. Is he in that too? He was good friends.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I don't really understand. Like,
But that's why you like the Queen. The Crown made
me love the Queen. And then I was in the day she died. I was at Queen Elizabeth Theater in Vancouver.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, let's take a moment of silence for the Queen. And then it fucking turned into a shit show. They were like, she's a colonizer.
Like, all right, everybody, relax.
I was like, you think
she's our queen?
Yeah, she's our queen.
She's our queen.
Well,
you know here's the most relatable thing about the Queen. She loved to fucking drink. She every day drank like a bottle of champagne and like had a gin martini at lunch. And she's like 90 whatever.
Oh, her sister would wake up with a gin and tonic every morning.
Pretty good. That just shows you these people do nothing.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. You know, the one that really was a game changer for me, and Bill and I used to do a podcast.
Yeah,
and it's where I found out mostly about this guy was Winston Churchill.
Oh, dude, love to drink.
Pull up.
That guy was bacon and gin.
I might have a cigar tonight.
Oh,
I might turn one on tonight.
There we go. I mean, I have more wine if you want to. Yeah, if you want to, no pressure.
Pete. This guy, Pete.
See, right?
Greatest.
Look at her. Yeah, just partying.
Dude, pull up Winston Churchill.
But this is what you do. By the way, this is the life we're offering Don Lemon. You are, but I'm like sidcarring.
Pete, did you hear my Don Lemon pitch? No. $4 million a year. We do a podcast once a week in New Orleans called Lemon Drops.
Go to
We're
a bar.
We go to John Lemon, whatever guest he wants. He can get some good guests.
Yeah.
We get fucking hammered. He cuts loose. We do like a 2-hour podcast once a week. Lives in New Orleans. Rest of his time with $4 million, he can fuck it away. I don't give a shit. He can have a
He
fucking...
could still like via
He
satellite
can do
into
whatever the
CNN.
fuck he wants. Hey,
Just
will you
with
let whatever dog... It's Izzy is fucking losing her fucking mind in there. No, just go this way. Just go this way. No one gives a fuck.
Queen Elizabeth II sinks 4 cocktails a day. New facts reveal.
I mean...
It's great. That's old, too.
That's old school, dude. Pull up Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill.
Nuts. So I celebrate Winston Churchill Day on the day he died.
Wow.
And I think this year I will be in... Might be in...
What do you do?
So I wake up with a Winston Churchill breakfast.
So bacon, eggs.
My wife did this, and it was the coolest fucking thing. It's the whole thing behind why the Hitler's teacup. So you saw the Hitler's teacup thing?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, what?
For my birthday, Tom.
Oh, I do know that. Yes, I
did.
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
I can't believe I didn't pick that up. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Tom bought me with.
Yeah, that didn't go great.
Hitler's teacup. No, I have to destroy it. I can't. I got a present I just have to destroy for $20,000.
Oh my God.
So Winston Churchill. So I thought it was Winston Churchill's teacup. When he bought it for me, I went, "Oh my God, he is such a fucking."
He's a hero.
Because I've had people give me stuff from Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Like this is his favorite cigar. You should
Right.
have it. This right there.
Yeah.
That's his favorite rye right there.
Right.
Behind that one.
Yeah, right.
So they gave me this bottle, and so I get it, and I get excited, and I thought it was Winston Churchill's teacup. It was
So you're
Hitler's.
like, I love it.
It was the funniest switcheroo you could ever do because I had it in my hand.
Yeah, and then it was like,
he's like, there's 98% chance that the Führer drank it.
you're like,
And I was what the
it's a
fuck?
bad man.
So Winston Churchill, I woke up. My wife woke me up, and she made me his breakfast: 2 eggs, sunny side up, bacon, toast,
cigar,
jam, a cigar,
yeah,
and a scotch.
Jesus Christ!
And so that's how I started my day.
That's great.
And then at lunch, I had champagne.
Yep, they love champagne.
Yeah, I think they feel like they're getting hydrated.
I don't know what it is.
And so
I think it is like
that was my breakfast.
Oh my God! Look,
it was scrambled eggs. She doesn't know how to make eggs over easy.
Look at that.
But she bought all this stuff. So she bought. Do you see all the
Yeah, you've got the little like
the toast holder.
It's like great room service, basically.
Yeah, she bought all.
Oh
that.
wow, yeah.
And then that was my scotch, my coffee, and by the way, I got to tell you, it was one of my
scotch and coffee is a pretty good idea.
One of my best mornings I've ever had of my life.
I think it shows.
It was so fucking great.
You didn't even need legs on that tray. It would have elevated just through the enjoyment.
So I sat there, and I started my cigar. I had my coffee. I let my scotch kind of sit for a little bit. I ate with my coffee. I 9 a.m. first whiskey.
But the best part so far is optional walk around the neighborhood.
I love
first whiskey, then a cigar and another whiskey, and then it's like, if he can walk, we'll take a walk.
Can I tell you my goal is to get one of these schedules out for me. What I'd like to do
What is it?
I'd like to retire at some point. I'd like to retire young.
Yeah.
I would like to Jim Brown it, where everyone's
still
like,
on top.
Yeah, where everyone's like, well, not on top, but people are like, wow, he was like, he just stopped doing specials, and then he moved out to Malibu. Did you ever hear how his mornings would start? And you're like, what?
That's why he called that cop Sugar Tits. Yeah. That makes sense.
Him and Don Lemon moved in together.
Him and Don Lemon have a treehouse together.
If we could get Don Lemon to get one of these.
Ooh.
But like this is first whiskey at 9 a.m. He'd take big long baths.
Yeah, baths. I've started. During the 2020.
Yeah.
I really became Churchillian, where I was like, I'm gonna have baths and martinis pretty often.
Martinis are so fucking good.
So good.
Martinis reset the table for you. Like as your day is moving forward, one martini just it's all of a sudden we started brand new. We got a brand new buzz.
Yeah.
And we're off.
Yeah. No, it really can be like a charge point.
A shot of cognac. I had cognac with the Russian mafia and with one of the gangsters at the Bolshoi what's it? Bolshoi Ballet? Is it?
I don't know.
It's called the Bolshoi something, but it's because it's called the Big Ballet. It's like the Bolshoi Ballet, I think it's called. And I never had cognac, and I almost threw it up in my pocket.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that?
I hate it.
Throwing up in your pocket is a great move.
Oh, you haven't seen my trailer?
I have seen your trailer.
Yeah, I threw up in my pocket.
Oh wait, that's the machine?
That's based off the time I almost threw up in my pocket.
And you did almost throw up in your
hand. I almost threw up in my hand.
And then you were going to put it in your pocket.
I don't know where to put it. Put it in my pocket.
That preview.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
I think you're sitting on a fucking beast.
I hope. We all saw the trailer, the actual trailer. I would argue the trailer's better than the teaser. The trailer's so good.
I'm like, I don't know. I watched it and I was like, God. Because, by the way, and this is not, to further blow you, good act. I mean, you're playing yourself, which is probably helpful.
Well, it's the only thing I can do.
Well, but still, it's good shit.
It's like Amy Schumer plays herself and everything she does.
But
I think every comic should play themselves.
But you also went through, how much of it is how much of it would you say is like scripted out a little bit versus how much of it because it's obviously going to be like a movie version.
So it's not fair. It's a Pete, you can bring that wine in whenever you want, buddy. Ooh, Josh. I like Josh.
I like Josh too.
Thanks, Pete. Pete, do you want a glass?
Thank you, Pete. There we go.
I love this kid.
There we go.
So here's this is I know nothing about acting. I really honestly know nothing about.
Did you take any classes to do it? Nothing.
Never taken a class. Never taken. I took classes back in the day. I'm so sorry. I took classes back in the day. But I found them useless. Here's the thing I will say is that cheers.
Cheers.
Congrats on the special. Buddy.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Congrats on the
Appreciate
special.
it. Yeah.
Ooh. I like this wine better.
I do too.
So I read because I was working hand in hand with the guys writing the script.
Yeah.
Was
Scotty one of them?
Yeah.
I know Scotty. Yeah.
I wasn't writing it. He wrote it.
Yeah.
He wrote that script, and there obviously there's parts I rewrote and I punched up to make my voice better. But like we worked on it for so long, me, Pete, and Peter and him, that a different Peter Tencio, that I had read it like I was guessing when I go into a scene, I'd read it maybe 1,000 times.
Wow.
So I didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
I had a very easy time with the lines because I'd read it so much. So my only thing to anyone that's going to act in anything is maybe read your sides 1,000 times. Because it was and even when they I also have a weird thing because I'm dyslexic. I have an easier time memorizing stuff.
Yeah.
But my memorizing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at memorizing stuff. But in like stand-up, I need to know where I'm going to be when I'm going to say it.
Right.
So once we blocked out a scene, I would memorize it instantly.
You mean physically?
Yeah.
With stand-up?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stand-up, I didn't realize. John Heffern one time told me this. He said that, and I don't want to put words in John's mouth if he disagrees with what I'm saying. My memory is shit. But he was saying that he would use intention to remember.
That I kind of get, right?
He'd. And I noticed I do that anyway. Like I do, in the new special, there's a part where I say she had a seizure, and I noticed that I always look the same way when I do it because it got laughed that way and so I stick that way.
Yep.
And I found that with acting, once we blocked it, like stand up, it made it very easy to memorize.
Right. Yeah.
Mark Hamill actually told me, he goes, we were talking something out, and I said, well, we'll just change it. And he goes, no, we're not going to just change it. I've been working on it all night.
Wow.
And I was like, well, yeah, but can we just move it around, right? And he goes, hold on. He goes, I'm being, I don't know the right way to say this, but he goes, you have a bizarre way of memorizing things that not everyone has. So he goes, we're not all like you. Like I can memorize things so easily. Right. With talking. I also, by the way, we'd go into shoot a scene and I'd have a Serbian woman because I couldn't see because I didn't have glasses.
Eye cancer.
Yeah, eye cancer.
Yeah.
I'd have her read my scene.
Uh-huh.
So she would come in and she would read the scene with the actors and I'd stand next to her.
Right.
And I'd hear what she read. And that's how I'd hear my lines.
Huh.
And then I go, okay. And then we'd block it with her saying the lines.
That's interesting.
She would like, hello, I am the machine. Everybody out of my way now. She was adorable. She was the coolest fucking chick.
How long were you shooting?
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where? In Serbia?
In Serbia, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Did you do shows there?
I wanted to do one, and then it didn't happen because of COVID protocol.
Oh, right.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, the old big pharma.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Son of a bitch.
If you could make one movie, if you could, I'll tell you what, better yet, if you could remake one movie,
Fuck.
what movie would you remake? And think out of the box. Give me the obvious, and then give me something out of the box.
Well, let me get, okay. The obvious would be something like, I mean, it's tough because when you remakes, the problem with remakes is like, is there ever a better remake? That is so rare.
So can I tell you where I think?
Yeah.
I look at something that didn't perform well in movie theaters, but we love.
So that's my out of the box.
Okay.
Would be Delirious.
Wait.
John Candy, where he's got a typewriter.
Yes.
And he types things and he can kind of type his reality and he types himself in as a character. Because it's John Candy and it's funny. So he's funny, but it's not a well executed film, but it's a great idea.
Such a great. By the way, John Candy has a handful of bombs.
Yeah. Who is Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb?
But also
Summer Rental.
Summer Rental
was a failure.
Summer Rental is so fucking good.
But okay, here now I'm gonna say this out loud. Was Delirious a horrific script that we only love because of John Candy?
Yes. We don't even love it. We like it because of John Candy. The idea, though, is great. The idea that someone has a magical device to type on, and they kind of are inserting themselves into a heightened soap opera-ish story, and they can kind of write the reality. Like, to me, there's something total. Like, if you were to be like
John Candy movies,
like if you were to be like to me, like rewrite a movie where a guy is writing a soap opera that's he's in, and whatever he writes comes to life, I'd be like, I can write that movie.
Who's Harry Crumb was awesome. Uncle Buck's his biggest.
Uncle Buck's fantastic.
Okay, Uncle Buck's.
Great Outdoors,
Train,
amazing.
Planes, and all, Great Outdoors. Spaceballs. Summer Rental was a flop, oddly enough.
That's crazy because I've seen that movie so many times.
$25 million they spent on it. They shot it in Clearwater or in St. Pete.
It's got
it didn't do well.
Also got Rip Torn in it. He plays the weird pirate guy.
The premise is, for anyone doesn't know Summer Rental, he's an air traffic controller.
Yeah, right.
Who is working too hard and there's a fly on his screen and he loses a plane.
Oh, maybe it's not Rip Torn. I think I just completely conflated Rip Torn with some random pirate guy. It's not Rip Torn. Look at that guy. That's not Rip Torn.
That's Rip Torn.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No, I think it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Jesus. For a second, I was like,
a young Rip Torn too.
Yeah, that's totally.
My cousin, I love my cousin to death, and he is a hardcore film guy. And we were talking about this, and he was like, I said something about planes, trains, and automobiles. He goes, "You're not allowed to touch that."
Yeah,
because that's the greatest movie ever made. No one's allowed to touch that. He's like a real film guy.
The thing is, if you watch when was the last time you watched it?
It's been a while. It's
a great movie.
Yeah.
It's been duplicated so many times in so many ways since then.
Yeah.
That you're almost like, there's something about, first of all, the drama part of it, like at the end, is fucking amazing. When you're like, oh my God, this poor fucking son of a bitch.
You know what?
But it's been like the road trip.
How much of that speech can you give right now?
Oh man.
You know what? I like me.
I like me. My wife likes me. It's amazing.
I'm gonna cry.
My wife likes me.
He is such...
My clients like me.
My heart breaks. His kids.
And you know what?
His kids.
Yeah, his one kid is awesome.
Is a stand-up, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My heart breaks it.
It's beautiful.
That guy doesn't get to be their dad forever, you know? Because he was our dad a little bit.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like we're like hurt by the loss of that dude.
Oh.
And by the way, there's so many stories of him. I can't remember who. I worked with a dude who used to do audio on I
Like Me. Read it.
I Like Me. You want to hurt me? Go ahead. It makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much.
Wow.
I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Well, you think you want to know about me? I'm changing. I'm not changing. Sorry. That's the Josh. I'm not changing. I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get. And it's after Steve Martin just shits on his heart.
And Steve Martin does it so good.
So good.
God, what a perfect fucking movie.
But he's like really like, so I forget what it was that I was doing, but it was like the sound guy did all the John Hughes movies. And he told me like 2 or 3 stories. By the way, I think that there's a deleted scene where it's like they get the airplane food and he's eating the airplane food. And it's also phenomenal. There's not a lot of, but there's this whole.
The best line in that movie is those aren't pillows.
Where's your other hand?
Between these 2 pillows.
Oh, sorry. Good game, Bears last night. They go right into that. Yeah. But there is like the dude was so like truly like emotional. I don't know. But the stuff I heard about him from a dude was like the best. He was the best guy. On Thanksgiving, he backed a truck up of like Thanksgiving turkeys. There's also a story about when he was on Home Alone and they could only have him for 1 day because of his schedule or something. Yeah. And so he like let them like shoot like a 18-hour day. Like he was like, whatever you got to do, like to get what they wanted. Because he was just like the most decent guy. Is his son
or is it his daughter that does stand up?
I'm not sure what his son does. I've seen his son interviewed. I don't know. I feel like
one of them does stand up or they're actors or something.
I think his kid is an actor, would be my guess. Oh, maybe it's her. Oh, Jennifer Candy. Is she familiar? Oh, well, does he have a picture in a chef outfit? Oh, that's cool for him. That's pretty good.
He looks like him a little bit.
He must pay for his IMDb so they don't have a weird costume on him.
I bet. Yeah, I wonder, I mean, it's like you look at Chet Hanks. I've talked about Chet Hanks a lot. But you get these dads that are like our dads,
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, fuck. Like their kids have to pay the tax.
Yeah. It's hard. It's also like, it's like a blessed position, but then it's also a bit of a difficult position.
Well, I watched my daughters go through it, and the smallest.
Did they have any interest in entertainment?
I think Georgia would have been the natural comedian.
Yeah.
Like she is, she's very sharp and very funny and very biting.
Yeah.
Isla is naturally bizarre as fuck.
Yeah.
But those people never translate to the stage. Like she's just weird as fuck.
Yeah. Right.
In a perfect universe, they'd move into an apartment in North Hollywood, and Georgia would do what I do, is follow these kids. I just follow them around and just tell the stories.
Right.
But I don't think I think either both of them have been turned off from the celebrity thing of it because of me talking to them about them, and like if I could go back and do it, I'd do it the same way. But it was kind of weird for me to talk about my family as much as I did.
Yeah. Well, you also aren't thinking like long term.
I never thought.
I mean, you literally are just like, what's going to be funny in a show?
Yeah.
I think about that. I during the like 2020 when I basically stopped going on, like when your world tour got canceled, I started doing like improvised. It was ridiculous. But from my house, I moved to Idaho for a year, which was fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I just moved into a house in Idaho in the middle of nowhere.
For real?
For real. It was fucking crazy.
That sounds so sexy to me.
It was sexy.
I fucking could do that.
It was awesome.
Tomorrow.
It was awesome. And it was like crazy. But I basically started on YouTube just doing like, I would riff shows. So I'd have people send in suggestions. I'd see them for the first time. And I would just stream of consciousness for like an hour 15 once a week. And the shit that I said, like people will be, there was like someone who was like I forget what I made a reference to something and someone's like, oh, like the time you got your penis caught in your zipper and you put olive oil on your pants. And I was like, wait, how the fuck do you know about that? And they were like, because you did one of those shows. It was called Gareth's. And they were like, because you did one of those shows. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like I was like saying, I just was saying anything to get like content. And then at the end, I'm like, man, I probably like overspoke a little bit if I'm telling you about the time when my dick got caught in my zipper.
Well, you don't realize, when you're trying to, I think the taxes, you're just trying to get laughs.
Yeah.
And so everything's fair game. And then especially like there's a bit in this news hour that I'm like, that I have to finagle around because it just got such a big laugh. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't think about how Isla is perceived in that, or how, it's like,
do you tell them? Are you like, no.
I mean, well, I did. They give you so many fucking notes, and they're like, "Can you say this and that?"
Netflix
like,
is
no, Island Georgia.
Oh, the real network.
Yeah, the real network. They're like, "What the fuck?" No,
yeah.
Can you change that? And you're like, it doesn't work that way. Like the thing that you like, it's not funny.
Yeah,
because you don't understand comedy. So can
you pull rank? Can you be like, you like that?
No.
Cool.
There's been times like Isla will put her foot in the sand and be like, "Hey, you can't say that on stage." She did one of the funniest things I've been a part of in my entire life. I was about to go to the Ice House and do a show, and she did something that was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen done in my entire life. But it was borderline pubescent, meaning like the part of a girl growing up.
Right.
And as she did it, she goes, "This doesn't go on stage." And I went,
"Damn it! I was just about to go crush in Pasadena."
This would kill. This would kill. I'm wondering how it's going to work. Now I've gone through stuff with like, their development as humans.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to talk. There's some stuff I'd love to talk about, but I definitely have to run this shit by them.
Yeah.
Because it's like the stuff where they're exploring their people. They're exploring the world.
Yeah.
And as a parent, it's been so fucking eye-opening, but I don't know. You never think that it's gonna. Yeah. You never think anyone's gonna.
You never think anyone's gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you are like at the point where it is like, I mean, they do give a shit. So you almost have to approach it differently. Now, I still think like, I can get away, but I can get away with shit. But like,
so part of the fun is like when you're talking about your parents on stage, and you're kind of like shitting on them a little bit and doing their accents, and then they see it, and then they're like, "Wait, what was that?" And you're like, "Well, I didn't know you were gonna see it."
Oh, dude, I do a bit on my album from 5 years ago, where like my dad's voice, because he was raised in England and then he went to Wisconsin. Like he literally split his life between the two places, Wisconsin and England.
Yeah.
So his voice is sort of this weird, like caramelly South African, like it's just super bizarre. And so I did this whole bit about like he used to call me and tell me what time it was where I was. So he'd be like 5:30 in Wisconsin, 3:30 Los Angeles. And like, I mean, it was really one of the first bits I like had where I was like, okay, this is like pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's like a 5-minute bit just kind of shitting on his voice and shitting on the way that he like would tell me what time it was. And then it did, and he still has the impulse to tell me the time. So he'll be like, it's 7:30 here. It's 5:30. Oh, you know what? I suppose you don't need to know that, do you? Because you know everything, And I'm like, oh man, I really hurt the guy.
I had that with Isla. She was so like, Georgia was always my teammate in finding the things in Isla that we thought were fucking hilarious. And then I had this, like, Georgia and if I had a nickel for every time Georgia hit me, he goes, look at her. Dad, look at her. I mean, it's like Georgia was my writing partner.
Yeah.
And Isla was this fucking artwork
muse
that just was like, I mean, the bizarrest human being I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, right.
And she does what your dad does now, where like she said something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but like I'll give you a perfect example. And I've said this a lot, but this is a good, safe example. She had believed ever since she was a child that once you turn 16, you could start cursing and out loud in front of people. And we're like, that's not a rule. And she's like, well,
I think she's got a point.
Yeah, she's like, it's a rule. She talked about it so much that on her 16th birthday, we threw a party for her. And in my DMs, people are like, yo, what's Isla's first curse word going to be?
She was not cursing at all?
No, she never cursed.
Wow.
Never cursed. She's a weirdo. And so here, I'll play it for you. Look at
man, you got some fucking great Google images.
This is all Instagram.
This is Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when George went to college.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think you're gonna find it. Oh, there it is. It's right here. So, here, grab those headsets. So this is Isla on her 16th birthday. what I read in the comments. Someone wrote, out of 16, she can curse now. Remember that? What's your first curse word going to be?
Cunt. I knew it.
See.
So that's who she is, right? So I post that on there. My social media team. This is who this child is. The weird. Click to these pictures.
Right.
This is. She had me connect her eyebrows.
Yeah.
That's her. She dressed up as Trump one year. Like this fucking weirdest kid. The weirdest fucking individual ever. She has been such a joy to be around.
Yeah.
But then that happens, and then that morning she comes down and she's like, 4 a.m. She wakes me up and she's like, "Hey, I need you to pull that video down." And I go, "Why?" She goes, "It's going viral on TikTok. It's got 6 million views." And I went, "Hold on." She goes, "No, I'm not going to be the little girl that they dub over my voice and I'm the cunt girl for the rest of my life." She goes, "I don't want anyone to know who I am. I'm Isla. I'm not that person." And you're like, "Oh, but you are. But you so totally are." And it's okay to be, but in like their fucking world, it's like, I think to be famous is a weird. Do you need to go?
No.
To be famous is I don't know, maybe that's not the currency, or to be. So she wanted me. I had to pull it off TikTok. It had 6 million views in like 4 hours.
You did pull it off?
I had to pull it off, yeah, because I want her to like.
That's kind of like the healthiest. There's something so strange about like growing up as the daughter of a celebrity, but it kind of gives you that like most people would be like, "Holy shit, like I've gone viral." Like, that's huge.
Her and Georgia do not like I mean this respectfully, because I do like Chet Hanks a lot, but like they'll never turn into Chet Hanks.
Yeah.
They don't want celebrity.
Yeah.
They don't want fame. They want anonymity. Anonymity for them is the currency, because they went they went to high school and grade school with everyone knowing who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch other celebrity kids that go to our school, and in a weird way, it's like they don't want that shit.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I guess there's something
growing
wrong with
up
guys like me and
in
you.
LA too.
Guys like me and you, I wanted all of the trappings.
Totally.
I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to
dying for it.
Yeah.
It was like it. It was. I mean, I remember I literally remember when I was like 6 years old, being in like Goldilocks and the Three Bears on stage and getting a laugh. Like I remember it like to my marrow, where I'm like, it did like light something inside of me that has never left.
Right. I was Nana in Peter Pan.
Yeah.
The dog. I was in a dog outfit.
Which is a great role.
And I walked around the room. I ruined the scene. I walked around the room peeing on everyone's legs.
Were you supposed to?
No.
Yeah.
I just was like,
just the riff piss.
I did one thing and I did like a weird head move and everyone started laughing, and then I lifted my leg up and the room went crazy. And I was like, well, I guess this is over for this scene.
This is a show about a dog. So I know what you all think this show is about. It's really not. It's actually a show about a dog with a bladder issue. This is a territorial canine show.
There is, I mean, I couldn't help it. That's who I fucking. Wait, how did you go from Wisconsin here? Where did you go to college?
I went to Emerson in Boston.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I basically I had no fucking plan in any way. Like I was doing comedy sports in Milwaukee, which is just like improv.
Yeah.
And I was loving it. And my plan was basically like, I'm going to do like improv in Milwaukee. And then I met a theater director who ended up coming to my school, this woman, Joanne, and this guy at Comedy Sports. And they both were like, leave Milwaukee. Like the guy at Comedy Sports, literally.
Milwaukee's, like that area is like is oddly enough like a comedy rich scene. Like the Milwaukee, Chicago,
the Midwest.
The
totally.
Midwest has like a
yeah, and totally. But Comedy Sports when I was like a teenager was like the only game in town outside of stand up. And I was like, I mean, like that's why like my role in the dot, like improv was like my starting spot.
Yeah.
And so like I'm doing Comedy Sports, and I was like 16, 17. And I was getting like,
Holy shit!
I was
you were
getting like
young.
regular shows. I was working there as a ballet parker, where I put on a tutu and I would direct people to
a
park.
ballet parker.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that was like my first real job. And then, but then I started like doing shows like with like group, adults at the time. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And this dude who was like on the local radio, and I thought was a god. He was like, I'm 41 years old. He's like, get out of Milwaukee.
Really?
And I was like, whoa. And then like, so I kind of like facilitated that. And then I started, I was doing like theater and stuff in high school. And my theater director, this woman, Joanne, she was basically like, let's get you to audition for the colleges. And I auditioned, and I went to Emerson in Boston. And then I really started like writing sketches and like performing sketches. That's where I met Evan Mann, who I did the Mancation show with, who's still my writing partner.
What's Evan doing?
We write on an Adult Swim show right now
Oh, for
called
real?
Royal Crackers, which comes out in April. So we write together all the time still,
Yeah.
Write a bunch of shit. But so and then that just kind of like, when I was there, I started really performing sketches and like writing shit and like doing more theater. And then I was like, okay, I want to go to LA, but I wanted to be an actor. And then it was like after like a few years of being like, this fucking sucks. Like it's the worst. Like, you get close to shit and it just sucked. That's when I really like started doing my own shit. But I didn't start performing until I met Bern. When I met Bern,
Really?
yeah, Bern was like, you need to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it was so daunting to me that like, I really didn't start doing stand-up till I was like, probably like 30 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And like, but Bern had been going forever.
Burns, he's such a great fucking dude
Dude,
on so many fucking levels
completely.
that like I love that guy.
He literally was like forcing me. He was like, write 5 minutes and come MC for me.
Yeah.
Like he was like forcing me to do it. And then once I got, you get past that threshold of like comfort. And once I was through that, I mean, that's when you are hooked. And then, so from then on, I was just like, and then once I got the Dollop, then it was basically like, I can use the Dollop from like my stand-up, and that's when I really started going into stand-up.
Such a fucking great vehicle for you and for both of you guys. It's such a fucking amazing, and I'm certain, just like that the I mean, I'm not calling anyone out, but like the way that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles has been repurposed a million different times.
Yeah,
I've seen other people do versions of the Dollop.
Yeah, it's been like
it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Why'd you guys call it the Dollop?
Dave came up with it. It's because it's a dollop of history. It's a little dollop. It's a little fucking dabble do.
Dave Anthony's such a interesting fucking dude.
Dude, he really is.
He really
truly
is. Like I've texted him. I wonder what the last text I sent him. Because of that experience, I've texted him at times.
And been like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. He really like, in many ways, you are like, the dude has crystal. Like he will predict shit and I'll be like, what is he talking? Like even with the Dollop, when we started doing the Dollop, he said to me, he goes, probably about 6 months into it, he goes, we're going to be doing theaters. And I was like, the fuck is this guy talking? I really was, because I had nothing. Yeah. I mean, I had, I really, not that I have like a ton now, but I had nothing. And I was like, the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, what did he say?
How'd you guys meet?
We met on Tripoli. I used to do a podcast with Tripoli.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
What was that podcast?
It was called The Naughty Show, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think I don't think you ever did it. Maybe you did, but it was like we did it at Playboy Radio for a while, and it was like Tripoli's world. It was like a mad circus, and I would just be like a bench player, just like I'm open, and I would just drop in with like a dime every now and then, but I would let Tripoli handle it, and we just hit it off. And then we had Dave on a couple times, and then I really just like hit it off with Dave right away.
He's so fucking.
But then I basically DM'd Dave, and I'm like, hey, man, I'll host your other podcast if your buddy ever goes out of town. So I did it a couple times. And then the third time I went to go guest host it, he's like, I actually have this other idea. And that was the first, that was Cliv and Bundy. And that's the first episode of the Dollop. And he was going to have rotating guests, but we just had like good chemistry. And he's smart. So he just like recognized right away that he was like, we're a good fit.
He is so smart.
Smart.
I don't think I've ever had Dave on the podcast. I might have had him on like.
Well, we were on, but I don't know if you ever had him. Yeah.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a DM from him because it's on my other phone. But
yeah.
That I mean, I can't express how intense that was, that he was the one that called the lockdown for me right as I was about to go on stage, and
I thought he was
I
crazy
remember
too.
hearing people cough in that room. Do you remember that?
Dude, we were saying Tom Hanks had just had it.
Yeah.
And we were saying, is Tom Hanks going to die? I mean, we were literally like, what the fuck is this thing? But people were coughing and we were calling it out.
And that's it's an intimate venue,
tiny little room. Yeah. Which in a way is like good. I mean, whatever. But,
yeah.
but like, who the fuck knows? But no, he like, with so much shit, he is ahead of it. And there's like stuff for times where I'll be like, oh, he wasn't like fully right about that, but he's like 60% right about that.
I have like 4 things that he wasn't right about in my professional career that I've talked to Dave about.
But most of it.
most of it.
I mean, I remember when he was like, he really, like, he would tell me like shit, like without getting too deep into it, but he would like tell me a politician that I'd be like, that's a good person. He'd be like, that is a huge lying shitbag. And I'd be like, whoa, buddy, that is a great man. And then I'd be like, 3 years later, I'd be like, he's a shitbag.
God.
Like he does. The dude reads too much. I don't
read it all.
I'll wake up and I'll have 4 like texts from Dave and they'll be like links to things. And it'll be like 6:45 in the morning. And I'll just be like, why? Like I'll start my day being like, oh my God, no.
It's so funny. Me and Segura's relationship is the exact opposite in that I get links from him like, are you okay? Is everything okay with you? Because I'm worried about you. And I'm like, I'm good. And he's like, well, you sounded a little sensitive on the phone last night.
Oh, wow.
I am such a fucking cunt. I am such a cunt.
No, you're not.
I would never work with me. I would never work
Why?
with me.
Why do you think that?
He knows me.
What do you mean you're a cunt? You mean you're in the sense that
also,
you're like...
you know I'm a cunt, right?
I know you're too hard on yourself.
Yeah, that's what you're a cunt to you. You're a self-cunt.
I'm real shitty. I get my feelings hurt very easily.
You're sensitive.
Off nothing.
But you're sensitive.
Yeah,
That's
like,
not being a cunt. When you get hurt, how do you react?
I internalize it and I
not being a cunt.
And I let it build and build and build.
And then what happens?
I just resent people.
That's not being a cunt. That is being.
I am a legit like I had a falling out with a really close friend, and maybe you're right. I'm not. I get really hard on myself.
That's not that. That's like that. What being an asshole is when you take it out on others who either had nothing to do with it or you're not communicating with properly. Internalizing it. And
I wish I could be a confrontational
you need Stone.
dude.
You need Stone back
in
your life.
What was Stone's fucking last name? He was so fucking
I want to say Phillips. But you're not. You're I kind of am like that more than anything.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely, rather than like, I mean, at least I think so. Of course, some people would be like, no, you are an asshole. But I definitely think like I go and like spin my wheels on my own and I'll like build up. I will say like, I'll think that like 18 people have a problem with me or that I've wronged someone, when in reality, I'm like, you're like honestly inventing stuff. And
oh, wow. Yeah. I definitely, I have to say to myself a number of times, no one's thinking about you.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let it go. No one's thinking about you the way you're thinking about yourself right now. I definitely,
to be at your level and to still feel like that honestly, that means you're like, you have like an empathy issue in a way.
Oh, I have a hardcore dude. I'm like, I have issues with, I mean, I've obviously, here's what happens. Here's what happens with, I don't know how you're going to edit back into this. We were talking shit about somebody and now we're talking about
broadly.
Yeah. We're talking about having friends that fall apart and you want to help them.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: is like sometimes it's like when Peter goes, I would tell Leanne in a heartbeat if you cheated on her.
Yeah.
You need those people in your life to keep you honest with who you really are, and who you are may not feel great. Like it maybe sometimes you want all the fucking trappings of the shit you feel like you've earned, but that's not who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And I think some people lose sight of that very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think. I mean, I'm so timid to talk about it because I know how many of my friends specifically have lost sight of where their path they're on.
Yeah.
You know? And then you find guys like Rogan. I love that guy. I've said this all day. I mean, I'm going through a big Rogan phase right now because we're chatting a lot. But
Yeah.
like, he is I hope this comes out right. He's a cunt like Pete.
Yeah.
Like he's like a
Good. Like,
just like a friend
Yeah.
who isn't gonna let you veer.
yeah.
Segura's a fucking great friend. He
Yeah.
really is a great friend. Where he's like, when you fuck up, he kind of calls you on it. Like we had
Yeah.
a big not a falling out, but like we had a little hiccup one time about something I said on a podcast about him, and he was like, and he's direct.
Yeah.
He's like, I like it better sober.
Oh, wow. And that's like a cutting, like,
Yeah, it hurt.
yeah.
I was already drinking.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
But you do need, like, I mean, that, like, what's great about, like, you know, having like Rogan or Segura is like they understand, like, it is the truth is that you feel that still because you are like a good human. To get like, a lot of people think that if you get like famous and you get rich, that your problems totally go away. And in a way, it almost like opens a weirder box of problems.
I think I wouldn't say that I'm either, but I would say,
See,
from
even
my
that,
experience- No, but from my experience, I would
is
say
humble.
they get more complicated in a little success I've had, because everything is taken care of for you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden life shows up in a real way and you're like, can someone just clean this up? Like I think about Tom Cruise all the time. I go, it must be frustrating for him when his son doesn't want to talk to him, or his wife wants to leave him, when he's like, no one says no to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's weirder. And I think also like the idea that, like, you know, I mean, you're supposed to be like, people think that like you're perfect, that you're better, that you're fine. I mean, people want Tom Cruise to fail.
Yeah.
And so there's like that element that like you kind of are caving if you do fail to some extent.
All right. So then name out your career starting this year, next year, the following year. Like if you had, like, Leanne's a big proponent about putting things in the universe.
Yeah.
She always says that. Say it out loud and mean it. Like, what's the thing?
I mean,
if you got a call tomorrow that they're like, hey, we have a project we want you to start working on, what would you want to do first? A movie, a sitcom, like, what would the first thing you wanted to do?
The first thing I would want to do is just to expand stand-up wise.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing.
Yeah.
I would want to do that. Then the next thing.
And how much are you touring again? Pull up you're touring pretty aggressively in 2023.
Well, but
right?
yeah, but also like there are Dollop dates pending. So like I'm taking a knee on some stand-up dates. That picture, look at that. Unbelievable. I mean, look at me now and look at that. That's like 2 years ago.
It's no chef's picture, but
Yeah.
What is? It needs a chef hat. But I would say, okay, so this would be my number one.
Okay.
Would be, I've spent I've written on like tons of shows. Like I've written on like, you know, bigger shows.
Yeah.
Right. So I know how to write like a show. I would love to write a show for myself that I am in. That would be my dream.
Be great.
That would be my dream.
Would you want it to be on it now? Would you want it to be on a network, or would you want to release it?
FX.
Really?
Yeah, I would want to be on FX.
That's so quick. I love that.
I wrote on
Hey,
You're the Worst.
Someone is working at FX right now that just heard this. Run this up the flagpole. Let's make this happen. That's the thing about putting in the universe.
I wrote on You're the Worst, the last season of that show.
Yeah.
Which is one of those shows that I like heard about, never watched. And then when I wrote on, I watched, and I was like, this show's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Showrunner, this dude Stephen Falk, like, just knew his shit. And working for FX was the first time, like when I went on Arrested Development for Netflix, they were pretty hands off. But FX was just like, what do you want the show to? And
really?
we would literally they would have notes, but it would be like, we just are curious about this. Can you clarify this? Can you do this a little? It was never like, which, you know, you do deal with.
Let's celebrate the people in FX. Pull up the FX executives. Is Peter Liguori still there?
I don't know. I'm curious if this woman Barbara is still there. She's awesome. She was who
FX was a badass fucking network.
FX is awesome.
Leadership, demographics, Eric Shire, Up to Entertainment, Gina Ballin, Nick Grad.
I know Nick Grad.
Dude, those are the people that, like,
Yeah. But like when you look at what FX is putting out, FX puts out like great shit.
They do.
Like they
do.
And they really do like
pull up FX's network. I would love to. By the way, I used to work at FX was my first television.
Yeah, that's
show.
what you said. What
on
was
the
that
X,
show?
The X show was back. It was a different time.
What was it?
It was
a talk show.
It was a talk show. It was a male-oriented talk show. By the way, have you seen Wednesday on Netflix?
No, I hear it's fucking great.
Fucking awesome. This is all the stuff on Netflix right now. Breeders.
FX.
Did I say FX?
Yeah. Like,
Just
have
say
you seen What
Netflix.
We Do in the Shadows?
So good.
No.
Like that
Mark's on
show. That show is a great example of like. I mean, that's just a great show.
Jesus,
That's just a straight up
the
fucking
pictures
great
of what
comedy.
they're developing.
Yeah.
Is so fucking sexy.
I think these are all out right now. These are the things that are on right now.
Dave is awesome.
Dave is awesome.
Baskets.
Baskets fucking awesome.
Phenomenal.
I loved Louis.
What?
I mean, all like truly.
Yeah, they did Louis.
But what they all are like, they let him go.
I like Wilfred. That was good.
Wilfred was great.
Wilfred was fucking awesome.
The League.
The League.
no
By the
way.
way, The Bear, I've only watched.
Wait, is that the one about the cooks?
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
That I
gotta
keep
see
waiting to fucking pound through it because people are like, you're not going to only be able to watch one
Really?
episode. But that's supposed to be like the best show of the last year.
Guys.
But like that would be it. And then from okay, right? And then I keep doing
Fleischman in Trouble. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
saw
it's
this.
supposed
That's
to be great,
with
too. It's
what's
supposed to
his
be
name?
great too. With
Yeah.
yeah.
Go backwards.
Dude,
Go backwards to where we were. Now scroll down.
What's his name?
No.
Dude.
Go to the no. If you go to the never mind.
Didn't you want to see this show?
What's this?
Fleischman?
No. I wanted to see what else was on. Fleischman in Trouble. I saw that he loses his wife and his family. That guy's really great. Miles Teller. No, it's not Miles Teller.
No, that's
What's his name?
I can't remember his fucking name.
He's
He's from The Social Network.
Yeah. He's a really great actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
What actor would you like to work with? Like if you could work with, I'll start. Ready?
Yeah,
Jonah Hill.
he's a great actor.
I want to see him operate.
Jesse Eisenberg. is
Jesse
who you're talking
Eisenberg,
about?
Jesse
yeah.
Eisenberg, that's it.
Claire Danes. Claire Danes is a bad motherfucker. Jess,
I'll say okay. I'll give you two.
Okay.
I think Donald Glover is like the guy whose like career I'm most jealous of.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
The only
is
reason
like,
I say I'm jealous of him is he can legit rap. Like he can
do
legit-
everything. Like
he
he
can
kind of
legit.
he was a guy who like kind of was able to like.
His stand up is. I mean this
Yeah, but-
generously was.
But keep in mind
he didn't focus on it.
exactly.
He didn't focus on
Keep
it.
in mind that was not like he was like I don't need stand.
I guess I'll try it. And it was frustrating.
And he like did
and
pretty
let's
well.
be very clear, Donald. I was frustrated that you were that good at it without
Yeah.
trying. And I
So-
was like, hey man, get out of my lane, please.
So I feel like that dude is so versatile. Like to actually work with that guy would
Yeah.
be amazing. And then the other one that like when I write with Evan that we always like talk about is like we worked with Will Arnett a couple times, and we were just like,
Really?
that guy is
Really?
so not only easy to work with, but he's so goddamn funny.
For real.
For real. Like the real
did not-
deal, as funny as one can be.
Really?
And the easiest dude to work with. So
Shut the
so
fuck
you get
up.
like that clout, and you get like, I mean, he was just like it was the most fun. I wrote on the second season of his show. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, it's the one I know which one it was.
It's like a sober show on Netflix.
It was no, I'm thinking of there was a show I saw.
Oh
him
no, you're
do.
thinking of Murderville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to write on that. They didn't have me. But I can't remember what it was called. It was but it was the second season of I can't remember. But he like so he was in the room, and then I wrote on Arrested,
Yeah.
and like, you know, was like kind of kicking it with him a little bit. But that I was like, this is a guy who like elevates your stuff on a level where I mean, the whole cast of Arrested Development would do that. But Will Arnett was
I'm the one person I want to party with. Walk into a bar on Hollywood Boulevard, sit down, have a drink. I'm in a fight with my wife, and I sit down next to him.
Will,
Nope. David Cross.
dude. He was on the Dollop.
For real?
Yes, and it
So
was
I
amazing.
don't want. I mean, I mean this kindly, and I'm saying this based on what you perceive people to be. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want Hollywood David Cross.
No,
I want Atlanta.
I don't
David
know if
Cross.
there is a Hollywood David Cross.
I don't know anything about the guy. All I know
I
is
don't
that, like,
think there is.
sometimes I read one thing you wrote about Larry the Cable Guy that I did not.
I remember
love.
that.
I didn't love it, and I was like, come on, man, you have fans too. You cater to your fans. Like that
But
was
what you like about him is that he takes like authentic swings.
I do.
And when he was on our show, I don't think he'd ever listen to the podcast. We did it in New York. We had these people at Twin Elephant Brewery made a Dollop beer. It was called Beer of Our Lord.
Yeah.
And it was like Dave and I were like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing." And David Cross, we had like 15 of them, and David Cross was backstage pounding them, like, and he was just like, "This is pretty good." I mean, to me, like Mr. Show was like as transformative an influence as I've ever had.
Oh yeah, David Cross is
Oh yeah, that's Jose. Say that's me and Dave. Yeah.
a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And but there's parts of I met him one time and he was I met him one time and it wasn't like ideal.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was like, oh, and it was a festival scenario, so it was like
That's
it
different.
was like his guard was up a little bit. I would like to meet him, and that's I think what I'm trying to say is I want to meet him.
You want to work with him?
Oh no.
Okay.
I want to no. I don't actually think I want to work with him. I just want to fucking drink.
Yeah.
I sat next to Kiefer Sutherland one time at a bar and drank,
And
it was awesome. It was
can you say the best famous drunk experience you've had?
I can tell you
Because you've got access to like some.
I
pretty
can
good
tell
shit.
you I can tell you the beginning of one.
Okay.
I can't tell you the well. Let me. I'll tell you my favorite. I was and I only because I just said this the other night.
When was this?
This was probably 2018.
Okay.
2017 maybe.
Okay.
I'm guessing. I got a phone call. I was at a party at our friend's house, a dinner party where we're all gonna have dinner, and we just got there.
Leanne.
Leanne,
Yeah.
the girls.
Okay.
Girls were young still.
Okay.
Our friends were making a big, probably Asian fusion dinner,
Okay.
and I got a phone call from Johnny Depp.
Oh wow.
And it was
What?
Like, it was a voicemail. It was like, "Hey, Bert, I'm here. You like to party? I'm at my house. If you want to,
Do you know?
I do not know Johnny.
You'd
Depp.
never
I
met
don't
him.
know Johnny
He got
Depp.
your number.
Got my number through Stanhope, and he was like, "I'm here with Doug. You like to party? If you want to come over and have a few drinks with us, we'd like that." And I said, "I need everyone to stop for a second." I hit play on the voicemail, and I said, "It was great seeing you guys tonight." And I went
Really?
over to Johnny Depp's house, and
You make right calls.
and I drove immediately fucking there. Like it was. And by the way, he owns the whole block, so there's 4 houses that you go to. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds, but it just ended up me and Stanhope. I spent the night there. It was fucking awesome. But like that was my favorite phone call I've ever gotten. I've had some really good phone calls lately.
That's crazy.
I got one from The Rock.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I got one from The Rock. That was.
Do you know him?
No, but I've had a couple from The Rock. The only person I'm going to be really honest. The person I'm the proudest to know, like, and this sounds really crazy.
By the way, assholes right now would be like my daughters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Trust me. David Spade's way cooler than my daughters. The fact that I'm friends with David Spade
Yeah,
is
right.
mind blowing to me. Mind
Really,
blowing.
yeah.
Mind blowing.
Why specifically?
Because when you listen to his, I'm sorry, Dave. David, I'm going to do this.
Because
when
he's so funny.
But when you listen to him talk, he's not Hollywood. He's David Spade. But
right.
he is. David Spade sends voice messages that are fuck. It makes I literally every time I get one I go, I can't believe I'm friends with David Spade. Like that blows my mind. And you know, even he couldn't.
Especially because you become friends with him after you know him.
Yeah.
Which is like, because I have like friends who like got famous when I've known them.
This is like David Spade.
Hey Bert, you prick, it's Spade.
Like that, just
great.
Just that is so David Spade.
It's great.
And then you hear it and you go, like I was stretching to get ready to work out, and I saw it, and I was play it, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like, that's a guy I idolized.
Yeah.
Like I still do.
Yeah.
Like he's the best team of Saturday Night Live
Yep,
ever.
totally.
The best.
And within Saturday Night Live, at that time, carved out his own little niche that is like what a lane to like
super
find.
super humble.
Yeah,
really,
right.
really humble. Really private, which I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy, greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Greatest comedy, one of them for sure.
Best friends with the greatest comedian that has ever lived.
By the
in
way,
the
when
entire
you
world.
asked remake a movie, if you could like, it shouldn't be remade, but if you could be involved in like doing a movie, like if you could you can't make a better Tommy Boy, but trying to make a better Tommy Boy would be like,
oh, I would allow that. I would create a fund.
you would understand why someone would try to, because it's but it's like, also
so
talk about
iconic.
the John Candy element. Like when Farley's dad dies in that is like some of the better acting.
We watched that and Black Sheep the other night,
Black Sheep's still funny as fuck.
and we were like, man, that guy we got ripped off because
Totally.
we could have. People say that about Belushi, and I think John Belushi had opportunities to show that, and like Continental Divide,
Yeah.
and like he had opportunities to show that. Farley never really got a chance to show that, and I really think that guy.
Well,
had
he was
chops.
supposed to play what's his
Meatloaf.
no Fatty Arbuckle.
Oh,
He was supposed to like play Farley was supposed to play Fatty Arbuckle at some
Really?
Yeah, like that was like happening. And it's like, man, I mean, that's the Fatty Arbuckle story is fucking crazy to begin with.
Raped a girl, right?
Yeah.
and killed
Yeah.
her.
I don't remember that part, but definitely,
raped her and
raped and murdered, and then was done with Hollywood. But it's like, so it's a horrendous story.
I read the book. So Jerry Stahl wrote a book called Fatty,
Jerry Stahl, amazing.
right? Jerry
Amazing.
Stahl. So Fatty Arbuckle, silent era of fame, is
Yeah, rape
arrested
and
in San
murder, yeah.
Francisco for rape and murder of aspiring actress Virginia Rape.
By the way,
Well,
it's such bullshit that it's not. We shouldn't laugh, but her last name is Rappe.
it is kind of.
Like you, I'm not.
No, just
we're
stop.
not going to
Just
do
stop.
it.
Just
No,
stop.
we're not
Just
going to
stop.
do
Just
it.
stop.
We're
Just
not doing the
stop.
bit.
Let them do it as they
They'll
listen.
do it, but we're not. But okay,
I heard her middle name was Murder.
dude, you said no.
Been dead for
You
so
just
long.
said no. Son of a bitch. That's the healthiest joke you could make too.
He did it in Virginia.
Stop.
I can't.
You're not allowed.
I can't. So wait. So he was gonna play Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah. There was like, he was supposed to like, I mean, in the Hollywood sense of like, that was one of the things on his, I mean, obviously a huge star at the time.
Fatty Arbuckle. My mom used to call me Fatty Arbuckle Buns.
Really?
Yeah, my whole life. So like when you realize your Englishness,
Yeah.
there's hints of that in all us kids that grew up with Irish or English parents,
Yeah.
or grandparents. And so whatever my mom got called growing up, she called us growing up.
Right.
So
Oh,
I used to be called the wild kid from Borneo all the time.
really?
All the time. That's why one of the
You were oofty.
oofty goofty.
By the way, I'm not going to pitch special titles, but
Fatty Arbuckle Buns was something my mom called me my
Really?
whole life growing up. And so I knew who Fatty Arbuckle was before I knew who Fatty Arbuckle was.
right. Yeah.
And
One of those things.
And so then when I heard about this, I think what they said was he was so fat, he laid on her and he killed her from being fat.
well, I mean, yes. I mean, by the way, that's a lawyerly defense. That's like a lawyer defense
Yeah.
back then for like a rape to be like,
But I think pull up Fatty Arbuckle and find out. I've never seen anything he's done, to be honest with you.
I've actually seen a couple of the things, and it was like, I mean, again, it's what you'd expect. I love how Louis Anderson pops up there.
Poor
like,
Louis.
I mean, really.
It
I
says
remember.
Louis was trying to develop a biopic.
Oh, wow. Louis Anderson was the first comic when I was a kid that I like.
Oh,
That was like when I was like,
Blake Casper played Louis Anderson's special for me, and he goes, "You're gonna love this." Blake Casper is a big name in Tampa now. I think he still is.
ton of Charlie Chaplin movies and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
he was in. Yeah, he started in a couple Chaplins, right?
But he introduced me to stand up, and Louis Anderson was the first stand up we ever
Really?
watched.
Yeah. See,
and it was fucking.
when I was a kid, I remember like it was him doing the voice of his mother. He's like, the cat licks the butter. The cat's dead. Don't leave the butter out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this. It was the first thing that I like fully connected to.
I remember the joke he had. He goes, they were selling a toaster for 25 cents, and then his dad goes, the cord's worth 25 cents. He goes, great, Dad. Next time I'm short $1, I go, here are 4 cords. That was one of the guys that I was really proud to be friends with.
Yeah, I bet.
I was friends with Louis, like independent of Hollywood, in that our managers introduced us, but he liked me. I remember I was driving up the 405 over by the Getty Museum, and he called me and he was like, "You're funny. You got to stop cursing, though. You're so funny. You don't need to curse. I'm doing Sunday shows at the Comedy Store. You should come." And I was like, yeah. By the way, I gave him a movie and I haven't gotten it back, and I don't think I'm getting it back now.
Why? What do you think the problem is?
I think he's dead.
Oh, that's a problem.
But I went to, he had his first heart attack, and I went to the
when
2000.
Wow, fucking hey.
2000.
Jesus.
I went. I hope everyone's cool with me telling this story.
Yeah. So
I go to Louis. Have you heard this story, Halston?
No.
So Louis has a heart attack. He's at Cedars-Sinai, and he meant a lot to me because he was the first guy I ever saw do stand up on one of the specials. He was hilarious, and he was very.
And you knew him in 2000. I mean, that's like
2000. Yeah. It's got to be 2002.
Yeah, that seems still.
Yeah.
Ages.
It's a long time
Yeah.
ago. And so he has a heart attack, and Leanne was like, go visit him in the hospital. Go visit him. Spend some time. Hang out with him. You've never been in the hospital, Bert. It's go sit with him and just sit next to him. 2003. He was 50. Fuck. He was fucking 50.
Crazy. I mean, yeah, he died.
So I go to the hospital. I go to Cedars-Sinai. Obviously, everyone's got to remember this is no COVID, so you just walk up.
Yeah.
I walk up, and I walk down the hallway, and they go, no. And I said, what? And this nurse stops me, turn around, and get out of here. And I said, hold on. I'm here to see Louis. She goes, oh, I know what you're here for. He's done. He had a heart attack, and we need to let him rest. And I go, what are you talking about? And a guy walks out of this room. She goes, this is like the 5th guy that's been in his room.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She goes, I'm done with it. Go. Get the fuck out of
You're
here.
like,
I go,
I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian. I'm actually.
I went in, he had the biggest smile on his face, like, Bert. I go, how you feeling? He goes, fine. Fuck him. I feel great.
Worried about some of my fluids, but other than that.
He was having dudes.
Oh, man.
He was partying in that hospital. I think it was a
pretty
scare. I don't think it was that bad of a heart attack.
He probably faked it to just get a bed where he could get blown.
That's a secret time hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's dead. No, I'm not glad he's dead.
Oh, and we'll cut.
I could never
No,
tell
just
that
kidding.
story, but he was the sweetest fucking guy, man.
Well, he also because he was a closeted gay dude for so long, and he had that blackmail thing go on.
Yeah.
He was wrongfully outed because of a fucking blackmail.
And he just tried to hook up with the dude.
Yeah, and exactly. He was hooking up with a guy and got blackmailed. But the thing, okay, real quick.
Shoot.
The thing you should remember is that these guys who call you, who inspire you and make you go, man, I'm actually I love, you do that for a lot of people too.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No,
I know a number of people who you have gifted greatness to. I really mean this.
For real?
Yeah. I know a number of dudes who you bring on the road with you.
Yeah.
Who you give you really you kind of got to remember to some extent, when you get down and when you do that thing where you internalize and you feel like shit.
Yeah.
You got to remember that you are beyond even with this, I hit you up to do this, and you could have very easily just ignored me and been whatever.
No, but you're downplaying. I'll put it back on you. You're downplaying how much joy you've given me. How many times?
Still.
But I know you. So I get extra special joy when I listen to Dollop, where I know you guys. So I get to giggle with my friends, and I go,
Still, and I appreciate the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
You are an enormous force
thank you.
who really does like you're very good at like spreading that to others, and like as much as you probably forget about that, you do need to remember that part of stuff.
Well, thank you.
Truly.
I look at thank you very much. That means a lot. I won't say anything. Thank you. That means a lot to me.
And can I just say also on the cunt front?
By the way,
As
Cunt
you-
Front is going to be a new breaking news segment.
Wait,
during
is that
the
part of
Bertcast.
Don Lemon's Lemon Drops? Cunt Front. Now up on the Cunt Front.
And now that we're drunk, we're going to do the Cunt Front. It's called the bivalve.
As your first employee and longest employee, I've never once gone, fuck this guy. I gotta get out of here.
For real?
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
once.
You're not.
Never
You're
once.
not that. You really are not. Like you're not in any way. Like it's really weird because I even feel it in like my world where you do kind of feel like isolated at
Yeah,
times. You know, and
yeah.
that's kind of what's problematic about it in a way. Is
I
like
think so,
it's really hard to go from like enormous spikes of adrenaline and like love
Yeah.
to go to like, well, I want to get French fries, like, but you know, you got to remember that like. You really are like just like word of mouth as far as like comic to comic shit.
That
You are
means a
like a
lot.
really appreciated individual.
Well, that means a lot. I feel like I definitely could name. I could definitely name 3 comics that hate my guts.
Sure, but that's
yeah.
3 fucking comics. I mean,
Yeah.
think of how many comics you meet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think the I don't know. I'm not gonna. Thank you.
I'm just saying, like,
thank you.
when
Yeah.
Louis Anderson calls you and you get tickled, or David Spade calls you and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You are that to other people.
Oh, I would. That would be cool if I am.
You
I
are.
love it.
Dude, there's no doubt, right? I mean,
absolutely.
there's
Yeah,
no
of
doubt.
course.
I don't see
You
that
really
at all.
do.
That's
You
so
get like,
funny.
even with me, when you're like, oh, dude, I'll hook you up with this. And you got
Yeah,
like a bit
well,
of a,
you're
but
doing
seriously,
KFC. It's
seriously,
you're gonna have the funnest fucking time
seriously,
on that show.
you got like when you get magic and you give it to other people, that is like what the gift of being like. There are good celebrities and bad celebrities, and when you're a good celebrity, it is like it's kind of why people get it in a way.
Well,
So like
thank you.
you're good at it,
Well, thank you.
which is,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll see how long we can keep it, and then I.
But
can,
also
I can get to
retire
go-
early,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
said.
Fucking go out.
You don't
on
got to do
top.
it forever.
Sell my tour bus to somebody.
You don't got to do it
That's
forever.
my biggest problem is I just bought a tour bus and I'm gonna fucking and I'm like and I just was saying to someone I was like, oh, I could retire I could just retire.
When
And then I
I
was
mean,
like-
you could retire, right?
And then I just got to rent out my tour bus to comics. What if I because my tour bus is gonna be fucking gangster. It's gonna be the best tour bus.
Haven't you
anyone's
already
ever done.
had a tour bus?
I've had a tour bus I've had a tour bus for
You're like Madden,
yeah, but I've been renting. Which
right?
was the biggest fucking
It's a
mistake.
huge number, right?
Well, no one ever no one ever gets a tour bus thinking they're gonna have it for a while.
Yeah.
But what happened is in the tour bus industry, there weren't a lot of them. So it was really hard to get them.
Right. That's crazy.
I know, right? Well, Taylor Swift's dad realized that and bought like 5 right away. And then was like, well, we got one for her. We got one for her crew. We got one for her team. And then I can rent them out whenever.
Oh, wow.
And Taylor Swift's dad's a little bit of a gangster. And so I bought one, realizing this also,
Yeah.
but made it for me, made it
a
for
Bert centric.
like I made it. It's gonna be the best goddamn tour bus ever. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You haven't gotten it yet.
No, they're building it right now, and I get it when I get back from Europe. I get it, and the bed is not on the back axle,
Mhm.
right? So that's super
So
important.
not bumpy.
So not bumpy. So you're basically in what technically would be a back bunk,
Uh-huh.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Bunks on each side. I think we have 8. I think I'm not certain. I think we have 6 total, but you can do it to 4 if you want. Huge lounge area. Like I've really set it up for. I mean, for a guy that's lived on a bus as long as I have, I
Yeah.
knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I'll be able to rent it out for comics. And I think also I can rent it out for comics and not have to like hemorrhage money. I can just be like, hey man, help me cover my nut for the month and just use it.
And that's an accounting term.
oh yeah.
I mean, your accountant is familiar
Just
with that.
guys, I don't want to lose my nut.
It's my month nut.
But I mean, like, well, so my bus I have right now is not the best bus. It's a horrible bus. But other people have rented it out. And one of the selling points of it is that, oh, it's Bert's bus. And so a lot of people know
Really?
that I have a bus. And then, yeah, like celebrities will be like, oh, I'll take Bert's bus. I'm not going to say names because everyone's like, we know Bert loves buses.
Yeah.
So
So
it
you
must
know
be
what
a
you're
good
doing.
bus.
Yeah.
And so I know what I'm doing. And it's a
The
clean bus.
axle bed thing is pretty good.
Well, I put, yeah, well, I know what I like.
Yeah. You like to
I know what I
sleep.
like. I want a big shower.
Yeah.
I love showering in a tour bus. It's the
Yeah.
best. Big shower, grinder toilet, big bathroom in the area, closet in the back, bed up front, bunks, and then big lounge area. Don't need coolers.
TV.
One TV.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times I'll have like 2 TVs. Oh no, I'm sorry, I got 2 TVs.
Right.
2 TVs, no side console, captain's chairs. I
Great.
really I know what I want
Yeah.
in a bus.
Yeah.
And and the cool thing is that I'll own it. So like if people are like,
Where
you
do
know,
where do you put it?
we bought a house for it.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah, we bought a house for
You
it.
got a
So
bus house?
well, we have a house. So we're building a new podcast studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I like this. I love this, but
You'd rather go-
Leanne doesn't like it.
Oh, it doesn't like that it's here?
She hates it.
Really?
She hates that people know where we live.
Yeah,
We
I
got
get
docs.
that.
We got docs before, and it was
You
like,
did?
kind of
That's fucking
sucked.
crazy.
That's fucking garbage people. But
Have you ever had a stalker?
yeah, actually,
You have.
but I was really into it,
You were? Like, if you had like an actual stalker?
Yeah.
You have.
and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Really?
I liked it a lot.
Let's not put that out there though.
No. Hold on. So I got a stalker when I was. What was it? It was like by 1998.
Oh,
1999.
early.
Yeah.
Oh,
She,
gee.
she went on Howard Stern
Wow.
and was like, "Hey, they were calling about stalkers," and she goes, "I'm in love with this guy, Bert Kreischer." Benji.
Yeah.
Benji was on Howard Stern at the time.
He still is.
So, oh, for real?
Yeah.
So Benji called my house, left a voicemail on my thing, said, "Hey, it's Benji. I'm here with your stalker. And do we need to open another bottle?
I mean, we can.
Pete?" And so
Oh, there's still some in there.
so listen to Pete.
He's like, Jesus Christ.
He's so straight laced.
Yeah.
Is it dark out yet?
Definitely.
For real? Okay. Maybe we wrap it up.
Is
on
that
this bottle
validating?
line. Maybe this is
Yeah. Okay.
We're going on 3 hours.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So he called my house, left a message. This is when I lived in New York. And he's like, "Hey man, we're with Stern." This is like when this is like Stern's
Yeah,
fucking
huge.
shit.
Right.
It's the shit. And he's like, "We're here with your stalker. If you can give us a call." And I was like, "Oh shit." And like I was like, "This is a missed opportunity." So I reached out and he's like, Yeah. Show didn't happen. Don't worry about it. And then randomly he showed up at a party in Soho that I was at with the stalker.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, this is your stalker." I was like, "Oh, so cool to meet you."
Well, what did she do?
She was actually kind of hot.
Was she coming to shows?
I think she wanted to get on Stern. I don't think she was like my legit stalker.
Yeah.
I haven't had a legit stalker
See, I had kind of like a legit one.
for real.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's like
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to some of the female comics I'm friends with.
Yeah.
And it's not fucking cool.
It sucked. It like kind of ruined my life for like a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. The long and short of it is, and the truth is that like even talking about, like I've never talked about it,
Yeah.
but the talking about it kind of like is why they do it in a sense, to know they get to you. But I had like basically like a virtual stalker who would like blow up your phone, create a bunch of fake accounts and like attack you on Twitter or Instagram. And kind of like when you are not actually sure what's going on and you think like 45, 50 people are like saying you're an asshole, you're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And like, so she would kind of create a bunch of fake accounts and like just kind of like pile on, attack me at certain times and have my phone number. And so would blow up my phone and then would blow up my friends' phones. Like you don't realize how easy it is to like get access to people's friends' phone numbers, your phone number, your email. Like imagine if one night your phone just starts going, your Twitter code is 07891. Your Twitter code is 89, and you're going, "What the fuck is going on?" And you don't know that actually, if you have like 2-factor authentication, is really nothing. You start freaking out. so it's before I really knew anything, and she would just like virtually fucking attack my socials, my phone, my friends' phones. She would spoof my number and call people in the middle of the night, and people would be like, "What's going on? Why are you calling me at 3:30 in the morning?"
Oh, how do they do that?
I don't even know how
I
they
had that
do
happen
it.
to me.
You can do
I
it.
had that happen to me.
Yeah. Like there's no like attention paid to that way of stalking right now. Even when I went to the cops, they were like,
I've definitely had that happen. I've definitely had that happen. And
yeah, I'm sure you, I mean,
and I've definitely had that happen. And I had to get a new phone number because
I did too.
of it. Yeah. And it, can you're right. There was one guy who there was one human being who got my number. I don't know how. I'm sure I gave it out. I'm sure I said it on a fucking podcast.
yeah.
And he texted me cool, and I replied back, and then he texted a picture of like dick and balls or something, like tried to be funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not my sense of humor or whatever. I didn't reply. And then from that moment, I watched him spiral out, and it turned into him losing his fucking mind on me. And I thought, wow, that's fucking crazy. That I said, I actually replied to this guy.
Yeah.
I actually replied to him, was like, hey man.
Well,
cool.
that's what I did at first.
Yeah.
Too.
And then it spiraled out, and then a group of bad people, like I'm not gonna, I think they're QAnon or like,
yeah.
I don't want to call out.
You can call it cute.
But I think like I didn't have, there's certain people I didn't have on my podcast, or I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but like there's like few people that's their game is to get into your, that's their thing.
Yeah.
Look, no, I'm not shitting on them, but I'm just saying like it was not what I was into, and then my phone got leaked, and it was like, and I mean to this day, my phone number, if I turn on my computer, I get FaceTimes from people nonstop. Most of them are kind, most of them are like,
still it's like,
but you're like, I just don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah.
It's just trying to,
that's
like,
crazy. I guess I have dealt with that. It sucked. It
was really bad.
His house.
Well,
people showed up at the door, knocked on the door.
That's what I was going to say. Like I
basically
got to the point where it was like I felt like I had to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally, like it's so weird because it is like you get in this, I mean, 20, 30 years ago, but like you get in this business now, and they don't even need to actually be showing up at your place to give you the sense of like perilous fear. Like what I had was like really crazy. Really? Yeah, really, really crazy. And like, I mean, it's a story fully for another time, but it was like on a level where you were like, I don't want it. Like you want to be known, and then you go, I don't want anyone to know me. And when you feel that, when you're in like entertainment, you're just like, man, what the fuck? Like it was fucking brutal.
We had people knock on the door one time, and Isla answered, and the guy goes, "You're Isla?"
It's like that's honestly like even fucking crazier, because it's like you're like, look, come at me.
Well, anyone would blame me because I was so callous with like saying where I lived. I didn't give addresses out, but I'd be like, oh, I walked to the Starbucks.
But you should also, I mean, it's that weird line where like now you do like share. I mean, I'm like very, very private now. Like I really
that's why Leanne bought the other house. She goes, she didn't want, like we get like Bud Light would be like, yo, we want to send you a box, or like
and you're like, send it over there.
Yeah. Or what was there's certain boxes I want delivered, like El Blunto, right? They're like, yo, let me hit you up with a present. And I go, I'm giving you my real address.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm getting this present.
Yeah, right.
And so, and Leanne bought
Blunto.
Leanne bought another house because she was like, I don't want anyone to have
You
our
can
address.
go to the other house for the El Bluntos, Bert.
Dude, that other house is stacked
with just swag.
Just swag. Just someone. And then, by the way, I go, how often? Because we had a P.O. box. I go, how often was shit getting sent back that I never got? Because I'm getting like all the shit now. And I'm like, fucking
See, that's what I have. I have a P.O. box.
P.O. box.
Everything. But you can't get regular. You can't get. I mean, not that I'm getting like the fucking El Blunto, but
Dude,
you can't like.
El Blunto. The best thing. P.O. box is a gangster move because you get stuff that people want that are fans. That they want to send
if you're like, send me the shirt. Whatever.
Until I remember saying it to What's the motherfucker? I'm so sorry. Not Michelle. It's not Michelle. I want to say Michelle Dudash. It's not. Michelle, not Michelle Obama. She did the presidential speech.
Oh,
Michelle Wolf.
Michelle Wolf. Yeah.
I told Michelle Wolf, I go, she got a P.O. box. She goes, I don't get stuff the way you get it. And I was like,
would
what?
imagine she.
Yes. People hated her after that. She would get fucking pipe bombs.
Right.
So,
It's great for the post office to be like, we don't take pipe bombs.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not doing those.
Wait, let's focus. Are we at 3 hours
Okay,
for real?
yeah.
So the special,
Dude, the special's called England, Weed, and the Rest.
it's on YouTube.
Yeah, this is going to I believe this is coming out the day that it's going to be released
Yes.
on YouTube.
Yes.
So go to my website, which is GarethReynolds.com. There will be a link on that page, or you can go click the special link and go watch my special. It's crowd work. It's about England, Weed, and the Rest. It's about my family, all that bullshit. I got the Dollop podcast. I got the Pastimes, which is a new podcast where we go through a paper. We'd love to have you on.
I would love to. Anytime.
It's Zoom. It's real easy.
I would love to.
We
Anytime.
go through a paper. I mean, we did one this morning, and it was like truly like I was just like, what? Like when you're like trying to stop riffing, you're like, this is a little too fertile.
I can't express to you enough. And look, you've heard me say this a million times. This is one of my go-to podcasts.
Yeah.
The Dollop is, I don't need to say anything. It's one of the biggest podcasts in the world, but it is fucking
It's nonsense.
hilarious. It's the funniest.
I mean, it's what I was like listening to a couple podcasts this week because I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, and I really would never like self-fillet. What our podcast has is an amazing story.
Ugh.
There's an amazing so even if you're like Gareth is a hack who sucks and I don't like his accents, you will still hear a story that's crazy.
It's and in all honesty, especially if you're into history, because it's all kind of history based. It's fucking awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
So follow me at Reynolds Gareth on Instagram, Twitter, all that bullshit. And Bert, I mean, you are the fucking man. I love you, and I
love
really
you.
will. I would love to do shows.
Well, let's do a Something's Burning with you and Dave
Great.
again. Let's
Great.
do that again.
Yeah.
And then I gotta have Dave on. I want to have you on too because I know that you can lighten the load. I think Dave might outspeak me really quick.
By the way, the last time I did your show, I told my story about when I got a quokka in Australia and I was like petting it. There's like this weird little marsupial. And like basically I was like had this religious experience with this animal where I was like, we're all one. And then like I put it down. Like it was crazy. The fact that I picked it up was crazy. And then I go into this little cafeteria and I go into the room and I say to the woman, like, as I'm ordering fries, I'm like, I just held a quokka. And she goes, quokkas, they're riddled with disease. They got salmonella and all this stuff. And that was like my last album was called Riddled with Disease, which was often during your podcast. I was like, the story, I murdered with the story for you.
Up.
So I would love to, and I love everything. So appreciate it a lot, Bert.
I love you, brother.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you.